La, 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 la.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
Good to see you again, my friend.
Been a long time.
It's been, like 9 years. Yeah, we were talking about it.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
For people who don't know.
I've been waiting. I was like, I dialed your number and it wasn't working no more. I was like, okay.
I've had about 8 different numbers.
He'll call me. I said, he'll call me.
Yeah, for people who don't know, the real Rick Ross is not a rapper. Just like your shirt says.
And you know who inspired that shirt?
I think I did.
And you don't even know the whole story.
What's the story?
Well, after that day, you told me that I needed a shirt.
Yeah.
I was really homeless then. You didn't know that part of the story. Well, I didn't go around like, hey man, I'm homeless. So I was technically homeless. I was staying in a vacant apartment, me and my old lady and my 2 kids. And when I told you that I was doing bad, you was like, man, you need a T-shirt. And when I left the show, I was a little hot. I was like, damn, that motherfucker told me I need a T-shirt, and I'm fucked up, but he know I handle money. He know I'm a thinker. Why he didn't help me? And so I'm walking down the street downtown, and this kid come up to me, and he was like, hey, Rick, I heard you on Joe Rogan the other day. And I was like, yeah? He was like, yeah, and I got a T-shirt idea for you. I said, oh, shit, another one of those motherfuckers. And I said, what's your idea? And he said, the real Rick Ross is not a rapper. And I said, corny is a motherfucker. But I kept an open mind, and I said, okay, let's do it. The kid did it. I go to him a couple weeks later, and he give me 100 T-shirts, and I sell the whole 100 the same day.
Wow.
And then something popped in my head and said, why don't you call Joe? That's when your number was still the same. And I called you. You called me to the show, and you put my T-shirt on. And the T-shirt was crazy. My PayPal. Because, I ain't saw you since then, so I never got to tell you thanks for telling me to do a T-shirt. Even though I was mad at you.
Why were you mad at me?
Because I was like, why the fuck nobody helped me? I was looking for somebody to come and say, hey man, here's $100,000, see what you can do with it, $1 million, see what you can do with it. That's what I was looking for. Somebody's gonna come and say, man, you didn't have no money, let's do something. I was looking for that. I was not looking for a T-shirt. But, in my favorite book, it might come through the back door. Don't look at the front door, look at the back door. So I did that. And when you put that T-shirt on, my PayPal was my old lady, she was like, man, that PayPal is going crazy. I said, go check the bank account. And she wouldn't check the bank account. $18,000, $20,000. Oh my goodness, we finna get an apartment.
Wow.
So my whole life changed from there. From there, I took that money. I did this.
Wrote a book?
I had already wrote the book.
Oh.
I wrote the book in prison.
Oh.
When I had a life sentence. I wrote this book. This was kind of like my message to the world about what it takes to become a drug dealer, how you become a drug dealer. I wrote it for kids so they would know if they started to be a drug dealer, what they was going to run into.
Like a how-to manual.
Like a how-to manual. Because I said nobody ever wrote a book about... Well, I look at it like this, Joe. We always talk to kids about why not to sell drugs. Why not give them all the information? And they make their own decision. Okay, you sell drugs. Yeah, you might get a big house. You might get the cars. But at the end of that rainbow is some cufflinks and prison cells. So I felt that.
You want to give them all the information?
I wanted to give them all the information, so I wrote this. And I brought you one as a gift.
Thank you very much. Your story is incredible. And for people who don't know, just because we did a couple podcasts in the past, but just for people that don't know, you unknowingly were during the whole Contras versus the Sandinistas. war.
Yep.
The United States government, or some people inside the United States government, were selling crack in the hood, and probably other places too. And they were using that to fund this war. They're using the money to fund this war.
Yeah.
And you were the one who was moving the drugs.
Correct.
And
A lot
you,
of it.
And you didn't know. You had no idea
I
where
was the dumb kid from South Central, man.
Yeah.
I never read a book.
you couldn't read.
I couldn't read at that time.
Which is so crazy. Let me keep going. So you get arrested, you go to jail, you learn how to read in jail, learn how to become a lawyer in jail,
Yep.
figure out that the way they did you with 3 strikes was bullshit, because it's supposed to be 3 different instances of
Yep.
you being arrested. They used the 3 instances of whatever they tried to pin on you
Correct.
from one case. And so you got out of jail.
We got out of jail
You would still be in jail right now.
right now.
If you didn't.
If I would listen to my lawyer
Yeah.
too,
Wow.
because he told me that that law didn't apply to me. 'Cause I don't know. You know, it's funny because I said my judge and my lawyer and the prosecutor couldn't read. I mean, because it was really plain and simple in the law, the way they explained it. The most important thing was an intervening arrest. Not that you get convicted 3 times, but was an intervening arrest. Because they're saying that, you know, if you get a kid and he does 3 different things and you whoop him 1 time, that's for all 3. You know, now if he does something and you whoop him 1 time and that whooping is over, and then he goes and does it again and you whoop him for the same thing again, now you whooped him twice.
Right.
So the 3rd time, that would be a 3 strike. And that's what the law meant, and they just couldn't understand that. Like, oh no, that don't apply to you because you had a conviction in Texas and you had a conviction in Cincinnati and you had a conviction here, but they were all the same time. You whooped me 1 time. And so I get 2 more whoopings before it's a 3 strike.
It's kind of a crazy story. I mean, it's a very crazy story because, yeah, you were a young kid.
And then it's getting more crazy.
What's up,
man.
everybody?
Yeah?
I've been having so much fun, Joe. Like, wow.
We live on Twitch
What's been
too.
going on?
And you know what?
We just
And
chill
owe
and
you a
listen
lot
to
of the credit,
podcasts.
man, 'cause you really you kind of set me off, you know, like, I don't know where I would have been had I not did that fucking T-shirt. You know what I'm saying? That fucking T-shirt paid our rent, man.
Wow.
I mean, you know, and my fucking kids now play tennis, Joe. My daughter's so fucking good at tennis.
That's amazing.
Man, she's like 12.
Well, you were a great tennis player.
I'm talking about like.
Really good.
They saying she like Serena Williams.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like and I try not to like, you know, because it's my daughter, so I gotta like
Oh,
keep myself honest. You know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing her do things that I was doing at 16 and 17, and she's just turned 12 and she's doing those things right now.
Wow.
And I'm like, wow, could she do this good? You know?
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just having so much fun, man. It's like my life has been good. You know, if I died today, you know, I wouldn't be mad. I just want to see them 2 grow up to be 20, 30 years old, and I had a great life, man. I met
Jar
some great
Jar
people.
Pleasure Face. What is
And,
this guy's name?
You know, I done had some things happen to me too. And it ain't all been
Jar
roses.
Jar.
You know, my documentary. I think was we working on a documentary when I did you
What
the
the
last
fuck?
time?
I don't know.
Well, you know, they took the documentary from me.
What do you mean? What happened?
Well, you know, we shot the documentary, and when it was time to put it out, we finished it. My 2 partners who put up most of the money got into an argument, and I went with the one who I thought was right. So we go to court, and the court ruled that Mark Levin and Mike Mungry
Freeway Rick Ross on
won in
JRE.
court,
That's what we're
and they
listening
had all
to
to
right
say
now.
so about the documentary. I had no
What up,
say so,
Aeon?
no accountant. So they sold the documentary to Al Jazeera, rented it to Al Jazeera, rented it to Netflix, and I got $0 out of it.
Oh my God.
The judge said I had no accounting rights, you know, no right to see how much money was being made.
On a documentary on your life.
Did I put money? I took money, T-shirt money, and put it to the documentary. I put about $15,000 of my own money into making it. We spent about $120,000 making the documentary. And here I am on Netflix, on the front page too. I made the front page of Netflix for like a year. Wow. And I got $0 out of it. And John Singleton.
Most Americans are not getting all the nutrients that they need. Maybe you take a supplement pill or you throw some specific powder into your smoothies. One best weighted time because there's that one who of
Singleton.
We ain't listening to commercials.
You know,
That's
he
for damn
was
sure.
working with me on the movie. He'd take all the stuff that we did from the movie and do this show called Snowfall, which is one of the biggest TV
shot,
shows
bro.
on TV. And I got $0 out of that.
Hey, on,
What?
you're the man, dude.
Yeah.
I've been watching your vlogs.
So it
John
ain't
Singleton?
John Singleton did me like that, man.
No way.
Yes. He went with me to the premiere. Me and him went to the premiere of the documentary together. The day of
And
the
then
premiere,
what?
I got my first books from that book there. And I had my demo books. He bought one for $100,
Demo
which I
book.
thought was like, yeah, I'm gonna do good with this book.
What the fuck is
$100
it?
for one book.
Demo book.
So he took that book and he did Snowfall. And he
Snowfall.
didn't count me as an advisor. He didn't count me in at all. Nothing.
Did you talk to him?
I saw him one time. He changed his number, and I saw him one time about 8 months before he died, and he was like, "Man, I owe you money." But you know, he was in South Central LA, in the wrong area, and so he finally.
Probably said that just to get the fuck out of me. I got you. Let me get out of here.
He laughs funny.
So I
His
totally
funny
understood.
laugh.
But other than that, you
I
know,
love it.
it's been all right.
There's a lot of people that disappoint you in this life.
They do. They do.
It's very unfortunate. I do not understand why people do that because that you think you're getting
bunch of
over, but you're
dicks,
not.
dude.
That carries stays in your soul.
Yeah, man.
It really does.
Burns you.
It'll haunt you.
Burns
It'll haunt
you
you
up.
forever.
Yeah,
You
it's
fuck
better.
somebody over.
It's better to be good, man.
Yeah, it's better to be good. You know, you're a
Light
great
heart.
story because
True
a
that.
lot of people write people off, man. You know, and there's a lot of people out there in the world that want to think that because someone did something that's illegal or someone did something that's bad, that makes them a bad person. And I think that's ridiculous. And I think
I totally agree.
you can't imagine what it's like to be someone unless you've lived their life. You don't know the circumstances that they fell into. You don't know the life that they were born into. You don't know. You don't know. And there's a lot of good people out there that just get fucked.
Made a bad mistake.
Made a bad mistake in a bad situation, bad neighborhood, bad life. A lot of things just.
And people see things different. You
Yeah.
know,
True,
what
true,
you think
true,
is bad because of the circumstances that he comes from,
Right.
he doesn't think it's bad.
Right. Because it's normal.
It's normal.
It's normal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that was kind of the case,
Oh, I
you
hit
know.
my wheels.
I wanted to be a drug dealer, you know, because all the pictures I saw of drug dealing was, you know, look who I was doing drugs in the 80s. Everybody, all the entertainers, you know. So I wanted to be in
calculated.
entertainment.
Well, not only that, all the entertainers were talking about how they sold drugs. Jay-Z, Ice-T.
Controlled my PlayStation intake and then just pulled out a controller, I'd be like, oh, oh, are we gonna play Rocket League? Oh, like, I get so fucking pumped.
that's what it is,
Yeah.
right? Because you never don't.
Ah! Where to go?
Don't look at those guys.
There it is.
But it's crazy. Those guys, they could be on CNN. Those guys can be interviewed everywhere. The red
let's
carpet,
get
everybody
that falling
loves them
apart.
now. I used to be a drug dealer, so that's amazing, Ice-T. I don't know if Ice-T was a drug dealer. But, you know, they rap about it. You know, I mean, it was a big thing. You know, and
But they don't believe. I guess they don't believe that story.
they believe it is just okay because now they're popular artists. Now they're famous. So they broke through. So when you break through and you're selling millions of records and people come see you in arenas and everybody's singing along to your shit, somehow or another it's okay. Like you're absolved of all your crimes and all your sins and you're welcome in society because you're very popular. Very weird. Very weird. So people are so quick to write people off. I think it's part of it because people are afraid to be
What
written
a
off
shot.
themselves. So they want to do it to other people. I really do. You want some coffee? Water. Water's right here. There you go.
Steez.
It's you know,
rocking it.
It's funny, we've done a lot of work with this guy Josh Dubin, who used to work with the Innocence Project, and we just through this podcast have got people out of jail.
Where's the defense?
A bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then we had one dude on
Where's my
who
defenders
wasn't
at?
wrongly convicted, but he got convicted for 50 years for pistol whipping
Almost.
somebody. A drug dealer who owed him money. Someone who stole money from him, pistol whipped this dude, wound up going to jail for 50 years. Gets out. They reduced his sentence to 25 years. You know, Josh brought him in to show someone who can be rehabilitated. Someone's a month later, he gets out and cuts some dude's head off and gets caught. Gets caught on security camera with a blonde wig on. Like, the whole thing was so crazy. But the dude was like, we were hanging out with that guy that day. Took him to the comedy club that night. It's like, it doesn't always work out. And then also, you know, the system itself, once you're inside, once you're a part of the system, man, that can fuck you up. You do 25, I mean, how many years did you do in there?
I did 20 years and 3 years. Yeah, so you know, the system is, and you're absolutely correct, the system can either make you or break you. You know, I was mad when I first went to jail, you know, but then, you know, I started analyzing my life, and, you know, I wanted to know how I got there. You know, what are you doing here? You know, this wasn't part of the plan.
Right. Right.
And I just figured I made some bad turns. You know, I listened to some people that, for the most part, loved me to death, you know, would have died with me, and they gave me what they had to give me, you know, and what they had to give me was the drug game.
Yeah. It's just so crazy that you were connected to this enormous story with Oliver North and Ronald Reagan. You know, Ronald Reagan had to testify about it. You know, I mean, the whole thing was really insane. It was an insane cultural moment, because I remember, I was young at the time. I remember watching it all play out on TV and seeing how this insane story was playing out, that they were selling drugs. What? The government was involved in the drug game so that they could
When
fund
Gary Webb came and told us about this, I could not believe it. You know, like, no, not Ricky Ross. You know, you're talking about Ricky Ross, right? The guy who couldn't read in school, the guy who couldn't get out of high school, who was pretty good at tennis, but he couldn't make it in tennis. You know what I'm saying? Now you're telling me that he was working with the White House, with Oliver North and George Bush and Ronald Reagan, and
crazy.
And then the CIA come to my cell, and Maxine Waters come to my cell, and what? All these people? It's just like, for me, it was unbelievable. But even when I first went to jail, before all of the stuff hit the fan, you know, one of the guys that went to elementary school with me, he came up to me and said, "Man, I heard the stories, but I couldn't believe it was you. We was the poorest kid in school. You and your brother used to change pants. You had holes in your tennis shoes, and you used to put tennis balls on your shoes so your feet wouldn't be on the ground. And that was really you." Yeah. Man, you used to make millions of dollars. So it was one of those stories that, you know, you really had to see it to believe it.
We had Michael Rupert on the podcast back when he was alive. Michael Rupert was the cop that...
I knew Michael.
Yeah. Michael testified on C-SPAN. He was at one of those C-SPAN hearings and testified that he witnessed the CIA selling drugs in South Central Los Angeles. It is one of the craziest videos. Michael was courageous.
I read his book.
Yeah, which one?
I don't remember. It was so long
Crossing the
ago.
Rubicon?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote that, and then he did that book, that movie, rather, documentary, Collapse, that scared the shit out of people. Did you ever see that movie?
I didn't see the movie.
The movie was just him sitting there, chain smoking, sitting in a chair, explaining how the whole system was going to fall apart. Wind up not being correct.
Yeah.
But it was mostly about
sweaty
oil,
one.
and mostly about the way the economy is run and the way our government is, the way everything's structured. That we are on the verge of collapse. And he was telling people back then, like, you better get ready. You better get ready for everything to fall apart.
Well, I mean, if you go on the streets right now and you see the homeless problem that we're having around the country, you know, because I travel the whole country now. You know, I'm doing motivational speaking, and so I'm working with different homeless organizations. One of the main ones I'm working with is out of Oakland, Lulu House.
He's a motivational speaker now?
They're helping homeless people get off the streets.
Y'all get out there and sell them drugs.
It is so bad out here, man. I mean, it's like
Worse than ever.
like some of these places that we go, and I would be afraid to go there without a gun. And it's like a third world country. It's like a jungle. They got cardboard boxes and
Crazy.
crates and tents and makeshift
Shanty towns.
plastic. And, and it's like miles of these places. And Oakland is
Oakland's crazy.
Oakland is terrible.
It's so crazy. I watched a video about it the other day where these people were driving, they were documenting it, and driving down Oakland, down the worst areas where these people have these shanty towns set up, these tent towns set up, and it's just open air drugs and violence and no police presence and no help and no nothing. And this is in America. And this is why we have $175 billion to send overseas to help them, help people in Ukraine, help people in Israel. We don't have anything to clean this problem up, this massive problem. And all those people out there are wasted potential. All of them. All of them.
I kind of
Who
agree with
knows how many of those people, if they had a little bit of help, if they've got the right counseling, they got the right this, the right that, they started to get a path towards a good life, they can turn it around.
I mean, look, I was like that.
Yes.
You know, I was one of those people
Yeah.
8-9 years ago, just out of prison. And Joe, you know, when I was in prison, I educated I read over 300 books while I was in prison because I didn't want to come out and get into the same thing that put me in jail. So what I wanted to do, I never had a job. You know, I never had a job. Right now today, I've never had. I mean, you know, I get paid for doing speaking engagements and stuff, but I'm saying I never had a job where I punch a clock or I had to fill out an application. None of that stuff because I couldn't fill out an application before I went to prison. And now, you know, I'm not going to fill out that. Now I'm not going to fill out an application, but I had all this potential, but I had nobody to give me a boost, you know, to say, and that's one of the things that I was saying about Lulu House that they're doing. Is they got housing for you where people get out of jail, they can go stay there for a while, they get clothes, they feed them. Because sometimes you need those type of things to you know, my break was you putting on that damn t-shirt. Had I not got that break, I don't know where I would be at right now. And you know, I wasn't gonna sit around and let my kids be home. You know, I had two new babies. You know, I had two new babies when we did that show.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I had two new babies.
Wow.
Cause my kids right now they're 13 and 12. So at that time they probably was like 3, maybe 4.
Right.
Yeah. Like 3 years old, 2 years old. So they was really new. So me getting that money coming in was like heaven sent. You know, like yes, you know, I got a way to get me some traction now. But without that kind of traction, you know, and most of those people, they're not gonna have the opportunity to do a t-shirt for themselves. So, you know, we need to set up programs where these people can get a fresh start.
Yeah, and that can be done. It could be done. You know, it's funny. We asked AI. We had a episode here where we were talking to ChatGPT. Have you done any of that? You messed around with ChatGPT or AI or anything like that? It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Kind of scary. Yeah. I think we're real close to it being like a life form. We're real close to there being an artificial life form that's more intelligent than human beings that we've created. But we asked it, like, how would you solve the crime
He hit me
problem?
so hard
How
right
would you
there.
solve
There's no way I
the
could get away
homelessness
from
and
it.
all the situations? And it basically laid out this plan. And one of the things would be re-energizing communities and helping, taking places like these shanty towns in Oakland, set up community centers, police presence,
Boom, big
do
bop.
something to stop the
Big
crime,
bada
do
boom.
something to try to educate people, do something, community centers to give people a trade, a craft, something where they can move forward. There's, you know, there's a place out here, Loaves and Fishes, right? Is that what it's called? We actually went to the house yesterday. There's a community that they have here. I think it's called Community First. Hold on a second, I'm gonna find out.
What the fuck, man?
We went there yesterday. I took my family there yesterday. And Community First Village is this thing that my friend Alan Graham has put together, and he's got right now I think he's at like 1,000 acres, and they build homes for these people. They have all these programs for these people. They have gardens. These people are making art and selling it. This one woman made a chess set. She sold it for $10,000. These people are incredible artists. There's a lot of creative, interesting people that just don't know what to do or where to turn, and they've been doing drugs their whole life. They're all fucked up, and they're homeless, and they've got records, and they don't know what to do.
Yeah.
And he's helping them. He's helping them in a really beautiful way, and it can be done.
Well, I'd like to connect with him.
I will connect you with him.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
because that's the kind of stuff that I want to do. I believe that we got to give people a second chance, a third chance. I mean, I don't believe that we should be playing baseball with our lives, with other people. I mean,
right, 3 strikes are out.
I mean,
right.
if it was your brother, right? If it was your brother, would he only get 3 strikes?
Of course, right, exactly.
If your brother was on drugs, would you say throw him in jail for the rest of his life? If it was your kid.
And everybody should be your brother. All these people are just us. It's just us living different lives. Just us with different circumstances. Different things went wrong, and different people around you giving you bad advice, different bad influences, different everything. And for one of the things that drives me crazy is the pull yourself up by your bootstrap shit. You're like, shut the fuck up. People don't even have boots. Like, what are you talking about? That's so crazy. Like, you're supposed to do it yourself. People can't read. They don't know where to go. They don't have no positive influences. And we don't spend any money on that. I've always said, if you want to make America great again, you really want to make America great, have less losers. How do you have less losers? Give more people a chance. You're never going to have equal outcomes because some people work harder, some people are smarter, some people are luckier. There's a lot of factors. But what you can have is change the amount of opportunity that people have. Because some people have zero opportunity. They have nothing. And if you give more people opportunity and more people help, you'll have more winners. You'll have more people successfully living in society, contributing, and everything gets better. Everybody rises up.
When people see other people win, they can duplicate that.
Yes, yes.
They can duplicate a win because
Duplicate
I
a
mean,
win,
you know,
motherfucker.
I keep going back to me,
Duplicate.
having the opportunity to do this T-shirt.
Duke
I had
the
no clue
W.
to do a T-shirt. I wasn't thinking about doing no T-shirt. That was not in my plan to do no T-shirt. So sometimes they just need that little boost.
Yeah.
The little vision, from somebody else that's actually out here. Because when I came home, I had no idea what the world was. Everybody had cell phones.
Right. Right.
I mean, they on computers, and I'm like a fish out of water. I don't understand this. I didn't even know my way around South Central for a while. It took me a while just to, to get back on the streets and the avenues, because so much stuff changed in 20 years. So we give people all this time in prison, and like you say, someone was on drugs or whatever, and we gotta set up a system where they can readjust. Most people go back to prison within the first 3 or 4 months.
Yeah. They don't know what to do.
No, they don't know.
I know people that have went back to jail on purpose because the outside world was too confusing and scary for them, and they'd rather have the structure of being inside. Like, at least I get food. At least I know where I'm sleeping.
Yeah, they make it real easy for you in jail. They wash your clothes, turn the lights on for you. When the shower comes on, they give you soap, toothpaste. Might be cheap.
Yeah.
Might be some cheap shit, but
what is it like finding out that you were a part of this enormous thing that was going on overseas?
Shocking. I mean, amazing. First, you have to come to, for me, I had to come to the realization that I was really a part of it.
Let's tell people the scale. Let's talk about the money, the numbers that you were moving, because it was crazy.
At my height, from 84 to 86, I was doing at least $1 million every day. And then I had days I'd do as much as $3 million. So for instance, like the first of the month, which was my busiest days, the first was like crazy busy. I would do $3 million that day. The second, I might do $2.5 million. The third, I might do $1.5 million. And then after that, it'd be $1 million every day. And then the 15th, it would spike back up. maybe 3 million, maybe 2.5 million, and then it would start decreasing again.
And what did you do with the money?
Buy houses, businesses. You know, when I started selling drugs, because I wanted to create businesses for me and my friends. You know, we couldn't get jobs. Nobody would hire us. So what I figured, okay, start your own business. Why not open up your own business? So drugs, I couldn't go to the bank and borrow money. You know, South Central was redlined at that time. You know, they wasn't loaning money on houses or nothing in South Central at that time. We was totally redlined. Not like it is right now. You know, South Central is one of the hottest properties in the country. Where if you got a house there, you can borrow money on it or find them. But at that time, it was redlined. So I didn't have any way to get money, and drugs was like a viable source of raising money.
This episode is brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. NBA fans, listen up, because I'm about to tell you about something you're going to love. And it's going to make the playoff season even more exciting. You got to try Pick 6, less than more. Void currently work out in.
So it was totally baffling to me to find out. Well, I never thought that I didn't know what $1 million was when I first started. You know, when I started selling drugs, probably the most money I'd ever saw was probably like $200, $300 at one time.
How quick did it come?
It took a little while. It took a few months. But
That's crazy though.
you know when I started selling drugs, I was a tennis player, so I was very disciplined. You know, I did my runs. My backhand is off. I'm gonna hit 300-400 backhands over and over and over and over again. I'm not gonna stop until I do my number. And I took that same mentality into the drug business. You know, I'm not gonna stop selling my drugs to take my girlfriend to the movies. You know, I'm not going to the club. I'm not drinking. I'm not smoking. You know, I'm gonna stay up under this tree and wait till the money comes.
It's funny because that discipline would have served you well in anything that you had an opportunity to do.
I just didn't know that.
Yeah, well,
Nobody ever sit me down and told me. I didn't have a coach. My mentors sold drugs, robbed people, stole cars.
Yeah.
You know, those were my mentors. Those were the guys. You know, my mom and my dad broke up at 4 months when I was 4 months old. So I didn't really know my dad. Met him a few times. So the male figures that I saw was these street guys, you know, Crips, you know, Bloods. And when I stopped playing tennis, I was 18 years old, and I was old enough to know, like, I ain't shooting nobody because he wear red. I ain't shooting nobody because he wear blue. You know, I ain't with that. I'm not sticking no gun in nobody's face to rob them. You know, I'm not doing it. So I had to find what I felt was a valuable way of making a living. And when I saw cocaine, shoot, they come over and they dancing. We going to the club. I need a 50. Me and my girl, we turning up tonight. I was like, damn, they're gonna give you $50 and you make them feel like that? I want a part of that. I want to be with that. I want to be the one to make them happy like that there. And I'm gonna get paid to make them feel like that there. I'm all in. And I dove in, you know, and I was in love. You know, I was in love with the business. And it wasn't
the first very successful thing that you've been a part of.
Yeah. I mean, I was a little successful with tennis, you know. I made all conference, all city, but that didn't put no money in my pocket.
Right. Right.
All the trophies was good, and you know the pats on the back, but you know now I'm putting money in my pocket. You know I can go by my mom's house and say, hey, go pay your light bill.
Yeah.
You know, put gas in your car. You know, my little brothers and sisters didn't have to go to school with holes in their tennis shoes no more.
You know what's really crazy, Rick? Here we are in 2024. You know, this is 40 years later, right?
Mm-hmm.
40 years. 40 years later, and nothing's changed in terms of drug dealing. Nothing's changed in terms of drugs being legalized. They're still giving money to criminals, and particularly criminals in Mexico. I mean, that's literally what funds the cartels. And the fact that there's a demand in America and the supply is all brought over, or for the most part, a lot of it's brought over by the Mexican cartels. We're just empowering them. We're just giving them money.
And you know, I've thought about that a lot, about what you're saying. And because in order to get rid of drugs the way they're trying to do it, they would have to get rid of all three elements.
Right.
You know, you'd have to get rid of the manufacturers.
Yeah.
You have to get rid of the distributors, and you have to get rid of the users.
Yeah.
Because if you get rid of one, the other two are going to create that one again.
There we go.
And I would like to know. I mean, I
What up,
don't
you
necessarily
loco?
think you should
Yeah,
do
real Rick
cocaine.
Ross,
I've
bro.
never done it.
Rick Ross.
I got
the
lucky.
boss.
Excuse me. When I was in high school.
Should we play some Rick Ross fucking MP3s here? Hold on, let's see. We can get right back to that. Hold on. Rick Ross. Artist. Rick Ross.
Yeah.
Every day I'm hustling, hustling,
Oh, shit. Oh, this is a big up.
Every day I'm
Big up.
hustling,
Big up.
every
Bruh,
day
bruh.
I'm hustling,
Let's go.
Every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm
Every day I'm
hustling, every day I'm
Where's my fucking...
hustling, every day I'm hustling, every day I'm hustling.
Where the fuck? Where's my dude? Why didn't he jump all like that? Good and stuff. Let's get back to
High
Freeway
school,
Rick Ross.
my friend's cousin got hooked on coke, and I watched the light bulb art. I was like, well, I want nothing to do with that. I was always terrified that I was going to do something that was going to turn me into a loser. So, you know, I grew up poor, and we moved around a lot, and I always felt out of place. I never felt like I had anything going on in my life until I started doing martial arts when I was a kid. When I was
Damn
like
it,
15.
I messed that up.
That's when I really got into it. And then from then on, I said, this is the key to life. The key to life is discipline and focus. And I don't want nothing that's going to take away focus. Nothing's going to take away my drive. And I saw my friend's cousin. I was like, God damn, he was a good dude. And now he's like a vampire. Now he's like hiding in his attic apartment. They're all just like doing coke all the time and selling coke. It was horrible.
Yeah.
So I never fucked with coke. But I know a lot of successful people that every now and then they do a little coke, you know, and I think it's like everything else. I think I mean, there's a lot of things. Alcohol's addictive. I like a little alcohol every now and then. I don't think it's that bad.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think weed's bad. I don't think any of these things are bad. I think what's bad is bad behavior and bad thinking and not understanding the consequences of what you're doing. And the consequences of what we're doing by making drugs illegal is so crazy. Because all we're doing, we're not reducing the demand, we're not reducing the supply. We're just empowering criminal elements in another country that now are immensely powerful.
And it makes people want to get involved because of the money.
Incredible amounts of money. And if you're living in Mexico, shit, you think South Central is poor. You know, try being born in these places where you live in these houses with no windows and dirt floors, and you see some dude driving by in a fucking beautiful car, you know, with a gold-plated gun, and that's the fucking, that's El Jefe. And that's the dude. That's who you look up to. That's what you want to be. And we're empowering that. We're empowering all of that in this country by our stupid fucking laws.
I agree. I totally agree with what you're saying. And I thought about that what would happen if coke lost its value totally? You know, if it had no value. I mean, if it was worth what it's really worth. You know, it's a plant, so it grows wild, so it doesn't take anybody to grow it. So you're talking about it might be worth pennies. But it's the value that we create that attracts people to coke.
I was sick.
And
It's also making it illegal, so it's difficult.
yeah,
to
or
get.
making it illegal
Yeah.
creates a value.
Yeah,
Because if it wasn't illegal, people would just let it sit there, or they would traffic it, and then it wouldn't be worth, it wouldn't be worth hauling because everybody would have it. And the way I see it, that
Every day I'm
if
hustling.
it loses its value, most people that I saw get started with coke start off selling, and they get curious. Well, what does it do for you? And they try it, and they don't, or not capable of not doing it anymore. I did it for about 2
what up,
weeks.
Swift Tug?
You know, when I got up to like an ounce my cousins talked me in. Hey, go ahead and try it. Go ahead and try it, because I never tried it before. I never smoked marijuana or nothing at that time, and they talked me into trying it. And when I looked up, I had like $300. I had about $9,000 worth of coke, and when we finished, I had $300. So what I realized is that they had tricked me into getting started so that they could get high. Because they didn't have any money. So I vowed that day when I finally cleared my head up, I said, you know what, I'm never doing it again. And I never done coke again.
Yeah, it's not a good drug, but there's a lot of things that aren't good drugs. Do you know who Dr. Carl Hart is?
No, I never.
He's
heard
a professor at Columbia, and he was a clinical researcher, and he was a very straight-laced guy. Never did any drugs, no nothing. And when he started doing clinical research on different drugs and different things, he realized that all the things that we're being told about drugs are incorrect. A lot of it is overinflated. A lot of it is exaggerated. And, he talks openly about responsible drug use. I mean, this guy's a professor, legitimate academic, an intellectual. And he talks openly about his own personal drug use.
Yeah.
About how, that these things can be used responsibly, but that thought is never out there. That nobody says that. Nobody.
That dude that looks
everybody
like Don
tells you
King.
if you do drugs, you're going to be an addict. You do drugs, you're going to be a loser.
Well, these people.
Pretty likely.
So many people are making money off of the illegal drug market. I mean, if you just imagine how much money has been spent on incarceration, on probation.
Just
policing.
prisons themselves, privatized prisons.
So these people don't want drugs to not be valuable to the system. They want it to stay the way it is, so they can keep making their money. So they do commercials and they market just like everybody else market their business to stay in business.
Right.
So those are the things that we're dealing with, and we have to get people that are more sensible. When I got home and found out that marijuana was legal, it was like, wow.
All right.
Finally, we're waking up,
That was just 2016, though, in California, where it was made legal.
Well, when I got medically it was legal when I got home.
Right. Yeah, it was medically legal in the 90s.
Yeah.
I mean, I got a card. I get headaches.
No,
Rick.
you were smoking when I was on the show. You don't remember?
Yeah.
And that leads me to.
Uh-oh, you're in the business?
I'm in the business.
Well, you know what's interesting is there's
I bought you some gifts.
Oh, what do you got here?
These are my new strains.
All right.
You know I got a
strains.
dispensary.
You do?
I got a dispensary.
Where?
I'm a legal marijuana dealer. The state's.
That's incredible. That's
I told you we've been gone a long time, man.
Wow, that's great to hear, though, man. Look, I'm a big fan of that. And in Texas, it's illegal, but you can get this stuff called Delta 9 THC that's legal. And apparently, it's legal federally, so you can just get that. It's it's very. The whole thing's very strange. It's like there's worse things in this world than marijuana. Absolutely. Oh my God, marijuana makes people calmer, makes people funnier.
Make you go to sleep.
I can sleep.
I can get some sleep.
It makes people more sensitive to other people. It really makes you more compassionate. It does a lot of things for you.
Oh man, when I went to my first, because it all goes back to, I go to my first. When I get off parole, it's just crazy, right? They having a high time event in LA the day I get off parole.
High times?
High time event. The day I get off parole, so my boy from Cincinnati, he's flying out to LA. So he flies out to LA, comes by the house, he's like, man, you off parole, let's go celebrate. And I was like, cool, what we doing? He's like, man, they having a high time event coming. I was like, oh no, I don't want to get with that drug stuff, man. Cause I'm still, even though I've been through all I've been through, I'm still under this impression that they've been instilling this, well, marijuana is a gateway drug.
Right.
So I'm still tripping off of that. So I was like, oh man, I don't want to go out there. I started selling marijuana, get involved with the marijuana. Next thing you know, I'll be back doing coke. Because I understood that I'm an addict. I was an addict to selling cocaine. I mean, if I had a problem, my old lady start arguing, I just go sell some coke.
Well, it's a success, right?
So that made me feel better.
Yeah, you're selling a lot, you're making a lot of money.
And I felt better.
Why wouldn't you be addicted to that?
I forget about your friend in the hospital sick. Well, I'm selling cocaine.
Right.
So now I forgot about him being sick. So coke had become like a crutch to me, where anything that went wrong for me, coke made it better. I mean, like the commercial, everything goes better with coke.
Which used to be made with coke, which is crazy.
So it had become like a crutch to me. And when I was going to the High Time event, I was scared of that happening. And he's like, man, I bet you sell a lot of books and T-shirts. I said, oh, let's go.
I bet you did.
Man, I found myself out there, man, those people treated me so good. And I was like, what the fuck? I want to be in this community. After that day, I've been chasing the marijuana business. In 2016, when they changed the law, I went there and they, first they didn't want convicted felons to work in the industry.
Right.
I was like, what the fuck? How you guys gonna say that? And we the ones made it where the industry is legal now. had the people not go to jail for selling marijuana, you never would have thought about legalizing it.
Right.
And they had me to argue to city council that issue.
That's crazy.
So I got to argue the issue, and they broke down, and now everybody around the country adopted that philosophy, and they're putting convicted felons in the front of the line.
That's incredible. The federal government is reducing it to a Schedule 3 now.
Yeah, they should just totally be
100%. But at least it's a Schedule 3, which is what's also listed in Schedule 3?
It's like medically.
Do you know that Coca-Cola is one of the largest importers of coca leaves? The coca leaves still flavor Coca-Cola?
I didn't know that.
And that there's a plant that supplies Coca-Cola. There's a plant that takes the cocaine out of the coca leaves, creates this flavonoids, these flavors that's why Coke tastes better than Pepsi. Sorry, Pepsi. This is, if you're a Coke fan, there's like the flavor that Coke has is flavored, partially at least, by cocaine.
Coke is Schedule 2.
Interesting.
Schedule 3 would be like ketamine, testosterone, anabolic steroids, codeine.
Oh, mild
Some
shit.
sort of, yeah.
Well, codeine ain't that mild. That's interesting. Tylenol with codeine.
Products that are less than 90 milligrams.
Okay. So then that's where marijuana is going to be, which is still ridiculous. What schedule's Ambien? That shit's fucking scary. What schedule's Adderall? What's Adderall? Well, it just said it right there, Jamie. Yeah. If you click on what schedule's Adderall, right above, what schedule drug is Adderall? Yeah. Schedule 2. That stuff is fucking crazy. I know a lot of people hooked on that. Schedule 4. Less. That's funny. Xanax. Xanax is 4. I know a lot of people have been fucked up by Xanax. Valium. I know a lot of people that have been fucked up by Valium. Fucked up by Valium.
Yeah.
And then that stuff is less illegal than marijuana.
Really?
Crazy. We're so
What do you mean
silly.
less illegal? What
I
does
mean,
that
it's a little baby steps towards legalization. That's one thing that California has above Texas for sure, is the legalization of marijuana. It should be
But
legal
they
federal law.
tax the shit out of us in California.
I wish they did, and I wish they did something good with it. I wish they took those taxes and cleaned up Oakland. I wish they did.
They give it to the police department.
They don't even do that, man. They're defunding the police department in California by $150 million with a new budget proposal.
Oh, yeah?
$150 million. All the fucking problems they have. And they're defunding. What they should do, if you want to tax, look, if you want to tax it, like, you're making plenty of money, I'm sure. A lot of people want to buy weed. Take that money and fix the fucking problems. Use that money. Use that money to fix the problems. Stop with all the bureaucracy. Stop with all these fucking useless people that are getting paid for these like the homeless programs in Los Angeles. It's just a scam. There's just a bunch of people making money, some of them upwards of $250,000 a year to fix the homeless problem. And they're not doing jack shit.
Yeah, I could fix the homeless problem in a couple months.
You think so?
Absolutely. You just go out and build some nice houses and let them stay there. And tell them they don't have to fill out the application. Most of the people that's homeless, they can't the applications, when you run their credit is fucked.
Right.
They didn't pay a light bill, a phone bill, and taxes, whatever, you know, so their credit is fucked up and I mean, the problem can be solved. You know, but it got to be somebody who said, you know what, we're gonna throw a few, maybe 50 million, 100 million into building some low-income houses that we also gonna have some treatments, you know, where people get treated, where they get job training. It's just so many things. I mean, I don't know. Even when I look at, you know, some are supposed to be millionaires, billionaires, you know, the way they, I don't know. I would look at this problem and I would solve it totally different.
No shit, you would.
Because even though I like making money, I'm not like typical people. They get the money and they want to.
I like to buy everybody else's ideas. That's great.
So that they can look down on everybody else. I don't think money's supposed to be used like that. I think money is supposed to be put back into the community, where the community can rejuvenate and the money circulates into the
great
community.
word.
And that makes everything better for everybody.
Rejuvenate.
Yeah. You don't want to be the only one who's doing well.
No.
That's not a good place to be in life.
Well, you know, a lot of people are like that. You know,
They're fools. It's just a foolish way of
when
thinking.
we look at the way, you know, the situation with Puff Daddy, you know, he had money, so he treated everybody else like shit. You know, like, you know, lick a tampon. You know, like, what the fuck? What kind of crazy motherfucker would want somebody to lick a tampon?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's how you get your kicks. You know, I would get my kick by seeing somebody do good. Like, look at that motherfucker, he doing good.
That's a good kick.
That's my motherfucking boy.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a good kick. I like that kick.
Yeah, me too.
Some people get a kick off of degrading people. They get a kick off of being the most powerful person.
Yeah.
You know, that's an evil inclination that is built into humanity for some reason. There's always been that impulse for some people to do that. It's very unfortunate.
I think power, you can hide your power. You don't even have to show it.
Yeah.
You can be powerful and nobody even know you're powerful because you don't have to use it.
Yeah.
That's when you're really powerful, when you don't have to use it.
Give me
You're
the
I'm
boast.
so powerful, don't nobody even make me use it.
Yeah, and you're using your power for good. Yeah. It's, I mean, there's a lot of people with some good ideas in this world, and I think you know, there's a lot of people that are very down on the future. I don't think that helps anybody. I think there's a real possibility that we come out of this better. It's just we have to think right and act right.
And then sometimes you got to go to the bottom. You know, they say one of the books I read, it said that the end of the storm starts at the worst.
What?
You know, when you get to the worst, if you can
Right.
bear the worst,
That's the beginning of the end.
that's the beginning of the end. So, you know, we got to go through the worst. You know, everybody buckle up and you know.
I think that has to happen too. I really do. I think people have to see things fall apart before they realize, like, oh, we had it good. And we didn't even realize we had it good.
Yeah.
And now we're fucked. And now we have to turn this shit around. You know?
We've been going the wrong way.
We've been going the wrong way for sure. But we've been led the wrong way. And we've been led the wrong way by people, like what we were just talking about before, that use their power to subjugate others, to keep everybody else down.
And then we got all these old motherfuckers who've been running things for too long. You know, like, why do you stay in the Senate and Congress for 30 years? You know, like.
Did you ever look at the founding fathers, how young they were?
I haven't.
It's crazy. One of them was 18. One of them was 21. These are the people that started the Declaration of Independence. They signed it. These are the people that were the founding fathers of this experiment self-government that you and I both live in. They were young as fuck, man.
Yeah.
Now you look at the people that are in Congress now. You look at people like, you know, like the president. He can't even form a sentence. He doesn't know the difference between Iraq and Afghanistan when he's talking to foreign leaders. He's out of it.
Yeah.
He's too old.
Yeah.
He's too old. And then, you know, Mitch McConnell just locks up when he's talking to people. Just like, he's too old. He shouldn't be doing that. He's not trying to make the world a better place. He's just trying to not let go of his position of power. And that's with a lot of them, and they get there through years and years and
goes a
years
long way
of
right
being
there.
deeply embedded into the system, and they know how to work it, and next thing you know, they're the top dog.
I think they all should go spend a couple days in jail.
Wouldn't be bad.
Yeah,
Let's
just go sit there for a couple weeks, you know, and then see what it's like. Go in the ghetto, go in the homeless camp, let them live in the homeless camp for a week. You know, eat the food that they eat, and then you really become an American. I think if you're not experiencing real life, then you don't know what real life is.
Right.
You know, if you don't see it, you don't touch it. You know, some of these people never go out to the communities.
Right. They go straight from the
Get after that motherfucking
universities
community.
right into jobs in the system. They work their way up the ladder. Yeah. And then they have disdain for with the common people, which it could have been them. You know, different roll of the dice, different circumstances, different life.
Different parents.
Different
Oh my
place
God,
you live.
what are you guys
Different
doing?
brother.
Different everything. Could have been them. Could have been them. And people don't want to think that. They genuinely
Bro.
want to believe they're special.
Bro.
That's a trap.
Well, we all special.
Yeah, but I mean special, different than everybody else.
Yeah.
guy's
When you
special.
start to look
Sure.
down on everybody else, that's bad.
Yeah.
You know, when you feel privileged for no reason. You know, now,
Right.
if you go out and you do something special, you know, then maybe you're special, you know. But
Do
if
something
you're not doing anything that anybody else can't do,
That's
then you're
so
no better
funny.
than nobody else.
Well, there's definitely special people, but special people are just people. And they're just people that put an extraordinary amount of effort and time, and maybe they have just a God-given talent, and they've achieved incredible things. And those people also, what they do is they elevate everyone around them, because they make you realize, like, wow, my watermark was here, now it's here.
Those are the people that I consider special.
Yes, that's
You can make
real-
other people,
Right.
if you can lift up other people,
Yes.
then you're special.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many people just by virtue of their success and the example that they set. They change the course of so many people's lives
no.
because they look to those people for inspiration.
What?
And it gives them the energy to go out and do things. It gives them the energy, the thoughts, the idea. That guy did it. I can do it. That's what I want to do. I want to succeed. And it could be a great thing, or it could
Bro.
be what happened here.
He's
It's like
fucking with
the
my
wrong
timing, bro.
inspiration.
Absolutely.
You know, you say, that's what these
That
guys
makes
are
sense.
succeeding. We don't have shit. They have money. I can do that. And then you do that. But, you know, that could be, in your case, it turned out to not be good, but in other people's cases, in different things with different examples of people that are succeeding, like you could have done what you did in the drug game if you had better opportunities in fucking anything.
I agree.
And it's genuinely, it's the discipline of an athlete, which is an extraordinary discipline. The discipline to force yourself to do things you don't want to do. You develop that ability and the ability to like really hone in and focus and have drive and a work ethic. That translates to everything. Everything. You just got to find a different thing to do.
Yeah, yeah. And now with the internet, it makes it better, but we got to get people to where they understand that they should try to do it.
Right.
You know, because once you get beat down, you feel like, why should I try? I'm gonna get
Right.
beat down again.
Right.
You know, I don't have the support. You know, I don't have the crutch to hold me in position until I can build my strength up to be on my own. I
Fucking
think
play it, dude.
we as a society have to give this to our children, because if we don't, our children are going to be in trouble.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, our entire society. And our society, we're all supposed to be one team. This especially,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, if we have countries at all, if there is a country, I mean, if you believe in America, if you believe in any country, that's supposed to be your team. So everybody is supposed to be on that team together. Everybody.
supposed to be trying to make the team win.
Yes. The whole team. And that can be done.
And no man left behind.
No man left behind, yeah.
And if something is wrong, you know, we got to look out for the ones that, you know,
Yeah.
that are slow.
That's the sign of bad leadership in our country, that's not being addressed. That's bad leadership. That all they're doing is serving the interests of all the wealthy people that got them into power in the first place.
And the wealthy people, you know, once you get wealthy, you should want to be a philanthropist. I mean, in my opinion, one of the greatest things that a person could do is help somebody else. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that is so, to me, that's
Turn 'em
like
all
so
on. Fuck
fulfilling.
it.
You know, I people tell me, you know, when I do stuff for people, they be like, "Oh man, thank you," and I be like, "Thank you. Shit, I should be thanking you because you just made my day." You know,
Yeah.
I got off by doing that.
What?
Yeah, that's what people don't realize. Like, doing something nice for people is selfish.
Yeah,
'Cause it makes
I be
you feel
feeling
good.
selfish. Like they might ask me for a picture in the airport, and I'll be like, "Sure." You want to take a picture with me? And-
Right.
And
you make them feel good, but
you make them feel good,
good
and then
too.
you give them some good advice, and
Yes.
and it's like, wow, what a feeling it is, you know. So I don't know. It's just, you know, I just come up different, you know. And I'm from the streets, you know. I'm from where people kill you for colors. You know, some of my first heroes was Tookie Williams. You know, I used to look up to Tookie Williams. I wanted to be like Tookie. I wanted to be a Crip.
I had that.
You know, so to now see the world to where I should be trying to save lives, you know, is a total different mentality than when I was 12 years old, 11 years old, you know, and you know what I'm saying, guys fight over color and stuff. That was because I was ignorant. I didn't know any better.
Right.
You know, but once I was educated to the facts that, hey, we're supposed to be helping save lives, not destroying a life.
What was it like once you got into jail and learned how to read and then started reading and recognizing that the world was just a much different place than
Mind blowing. I hate that.
I hate
nobody
1v1s,
ever
dude.
Sit me down and explain to me how exciting book reading was. And you know, the books I started to read was about making money. I gotta tell you that too. It was about either making money or how the mind works. You know, how to think. You know, how to think successfully. How to have faith in yourself. How to believe in you. You know, because when you don't believe in yourself, it's hard to believe in anything.
Right.
You know, if you believe you're a loser, and you think everybody else is losers as well.
Right.
So, having these experiences in these books, you know, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, like, just blew my mind. You know, like, well, people actually think like this here. You know, like, you can think and grow rich. You can use your mind to create, and you only really need one idea that could make you a fortune. You know, you shouldn't be allowing other people to feed your mind their ideas, you know, what they think you should be, you know. Because when I was coming up, other people affected the way I thought. You know, like, man, you play tennis? That's a girl sport. You know,
We are brought to you by Roka. Roka is a brand based in Austin, Texas, and they have been making performance eyewear for Olympic gold medalists and world champion athletes since 2016. I've been wearing their readers and sunglasses for a few years now and absolutely love them. They are ultra lightweight, super comfortable, and Roka fixed that problem where glasses slip off your nose when you're looking down. They're the best. Since Rokas stay on your face, you can actually work out in them and ditch the contacts. Some brands have made prescription eyewear easy to get online. Roka did that and actually made their products better too. No bullshit. Check them out. I could wear anything, but I choose to wear Roka, and you should too. Get 20% off your order with the code ROGAN at roka.com. That's ROKA.com. This episode is brought to you by MeUndies, my favorite underwear. One summer essential you need is good underwear. I know that's probably the last thing on your mind, but it is important, especially with all this heat. You're gonna be sweating everywhere, so you're gonna want a decent pair of underwear to help keep things fresh, like MeUndies and their Ball Caddy boxer briefs. I love how breathable and comfortable they are. They're my favorite all-time underwear, for sure. But hey, if boxer briefs aren't your thing, MeUndies has plenty of other options and styles to choose from. They even have some fun prints, and everything is made with the same micro-modal fabric, so whatever you get, you know it's going to be good. Or if you want something extra breathable and summer-proof, check out the Move Me line. It has moisture-wicking and anti-odor technology perfect for those really hot days, or even just a day at the gym. Be prepared for the heat with MeUndies. Comfort from the outside in. If you're not happy with your first pair, it's on them. And right now, you can get 20% off your first order, plus free shipping. Just visit MeUndies.com/Rogan. That's MeUndies.com/Rogan. Tap the banner to learn more.
You right. You reading a book? Why are you reading a book? You need a gun. You know, so these things start to shape your
Extra
mind.
careful about that one
And,
too.
You know,
Extra
when
careful.
I found out from James Allen that I am the gardener of my mind, and I have to keep my mind weed free. You know, I have to pluck the weeds out as soon as a negative thought pop in. Because, you know, even since I've been home, you know, they didn't offer me coke. I had a few guys come up, oh, I was just playing. You know, nudge you on the shoulder. I was just playing, just see where you was at with it. So as soon as those things happen, you got to get rid of them. You know,
4 to
because
4.
When Blandon approached me about selling drugs again, I wasn't selling drugs no more. He kept offering me. And when I listened to the tape in court, man, you know, I'm in court. We going to trial, and they playing the tape. So I recorded phone calls. And he says, Rick, I got 700 kilos. First thing popped out of my mouth. And I don't even know I said this. How much? First thing. And I done told myself, I have promised myself, Joe. I promised myself and my kids. I'm never selling coke again. And when he asked me that question on that tape, which is probably what convicted me. Wow. I said, how much?
Wow.
Unconsciously. I think I had fallen asleep behind the wheel.
So you had already decided to get out.
I was out. I hadn't sold drugs in 5.5, 6 years.
Really?
Yeah.
And the conversations on the phone are what got you convicted?
Yeah.
Was he wearing a wire?
He was wearing a wire. He was recording the conversation. He'd already become a government informant.
Oh, my God.
And I asked him how much.
Oh, my God.
They played that over and over in the courtroom. How much? How much? I just kept hearing myself say, how much? And I just put my head down because I knew that that was a crucial mistake. Even though I didn't bite that time. I didn't bite.
But you did say how much.
You did say how much. That's all it took. So that showed an interest. See, if I would have said, oh, I don't fuck with drugs no more. But, you know, I'm talking to my partner. You know, I'm talking to the homie.
Right.
We chopping it up.
Right.
Old times.
Just
good
out
times.
Of curiosity, how much?
Good times, you know, sound like good times.
I don't sell drugs anymore, but out of curiosity. What kind of figures are we talking about here? Yeah. It's exciting too, right? Yeah. That's also a part of the problem. Regular life gets mundane.
Selling drugs is exciting.
I bet.
The girls?
Oh,
girls like drug dealers.
I bet. Drug dealers have a lot of money.
Nice cars.
Yeah.
Pay for nice hotels.
Yeah. Girls like nice things. Buy you nice gifts. Nice shoes. Nice bag. Nice this. Nice clothes.
So it's easy, you know, when I go out and I talk to these young guys, I don't criticize them because I understand.
I just missed it. I missed it.
And I understand that if we don't replace the drug with something else, don't even ask them to quit.
Right.
Why? Why would you ask somebody not to feed their kids, you know, not to be able to buy their girlfriends the shoes she wants? And, you know, we have to come up with things. Because, you know, most of the manufacturing jobs are overseas.
Right.
You know, we don't make anything in America anymore.
Very little. Very little. Yeah, that how crazy is
we
that?
do. We make tons of shit in America. What are you talking about?
That was going to ruin everything.
Huh.
Just have people in other countries that are extremely poor work for almost nothing. It's weird.
Poor Joe Rogan. $200 million Spotify contract.
It's not like the solution's impossible to solve.
Oh, no, we can fix it.
Yeah.
We can fix it. But we got to start.
Yeah.
Right where we at. You know, we gotta put our hands down, our feet down, and say, you know what, we're gonna make a stand. And you know, that's what I believe. You start with what you got, where you at. You know, so many people want things to be perfect. No, it ain't gonna be perfect. You know, you might have to go through a little something. You might have to miss a couple meals. You know, but this is what it's gonna take.
Yeah. It's just hard if someone's already making a lot of money doing something that isn't. It's very hard to tell them you're going to make way less money. And you're going to work way harder, and you're not going to enjoy it. But it's going to be really hard. That's a very hard sell. Very hard sell.
It is. It is. But we got to put people first. We got to learn. I mean, we got to stop being stupid.
Yeah.
And I believe when we don't put people first, we're being stupid.
Yes.
Because without people, there's no drugs, there's no business, there's no nothing.
But we are people.
It's
us.
People. It's us.
It's just one team. Team human.
Let's win, baby.
Yeah. The crazy thing is there's enough resources for everybody. There's enough for everybody. It really is. It's just our system is just manipulated and all fucked up and poorly organized and badly planned.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I'm deep in the marijuana industry now, and I'm watching these guys. These guys making millions of dollars. I'm watching them cut their own throat. I'm sitting here and I'm literally watching them take away.
How so?
Well, some of it I can't talk on the air about it because it ain't proper.
Right. Got it.
But I would just tell you that I'm being privileged to see this business destroy itself. I'm watching them just destroy their business.
Well, that was so fast.
No organization, no camaraderie. I'm gonna beat this guy out. I'm gonna beat that guy out. I'm gonna put him out of business, and they really gonna put themselves out of business at the same time. It's like I saw a thing in National Geographic when I was in jail, and there was an alligator on a big water moccasin was fighting, and the water moccasin wanted to swallow the alligator.
Really?
Yeah. But in the process, he swallowed the alligator. So when the alligator goes inside, he's still alive. He takes his claws and go like this here. Probably his last.
It was probably a python.
Might have been a python.
Yeah, that's in the Everglades.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know the largest population of pythons in the world is in the Everglades?
I didn't know.
They're not even from the Everglades.
I didn't know that.
Just assholes.
That was a crazy goal. What the fuck
And then
was
maybe
that?
a research center that got hit with a hurricane. There's a lot of speculation about how the population got so large, but there's over 500,000 pythons.
Wow.
But yeah, they swallow the alligator, and the alligator cuts its way out of their body, and they both die. There's a photo of one, of a 12-foot alligator bursting out of the body of a python. Look at this. So this python swallowed this alligator, and then the alligator's tail is poking out of it as it clawed its way out. That's its tail.
Yeah.
So they're both dead.
They both died.
Yeah, and especially when you're talking about the weed business. How much weed can you sell? You really want to put everybody out of business? Are you fucking retarded? Why don't you just, make as much money as you can and then encourage all these other people to make as much money as they can and hang out together? Go have a barbecue together. Go fucking go
just
to
let
dinner
everybody
together.
let everybody do good.
Yeah,
you
let
know,
it have
everybody
fun.
set limits.
Right.
Everybody set limits. Okay, we're gonna make this amount of money.
Yeah. The competition is within yourself. The competition is to do better. And if you see other people doing better than you say, what are they doing different than me? You should be inspired instead of trying to squash their business.
They can't think.
It's stupid.
These people can't think. They like gangbangers almost to me.
It's very similar. There's the same patterns. Those patterns exist in politics, in business, in everything. Drug dealing, gangbanging, everything. It used to exist like that in comedy. These comedians were all out for themselves. Just take someone to kind of explain to everybody. This is stupid. There's not that many of us. We're all in this together. It doesn't benefit you at all.
Let's make society better.
Yes, let's make everything better.
Let's make everything better. That's what it's supposed to be about.
That's what it should be about.
When it's all said and done.
There we go.
I read a book and the guy says, when you're at the end, how do you want to be remembered? And me, I want people to say, yeah, maybe they might say I sold drugs. I don't care about that part. Yeah, I only sold drugs 8 years. But at the end, I want him to say he made the world a better place. Because he
Doing
lived.
Doing good.
When I go out like that
Doing great
there,
over here.
I'll be a happy man.
Well, sometimes you have to
Pretty
do
well,
the
right?
wrong thing in order to be an example of someone who can do the wrong thing and course correct and then become a better person. Like, if you're just a good person
What
from
did
the
he just
beginning,
say?
that's kind of boring. I like a guy who fucks up a few times and then figures it out. And then
What the
that
fuck?
can inspire people who have already fucked up their life. Because people want to think that once they fucked up their life, oh my God, I'm a fuck up. But that's not really the case. You just this life is like, treat it like a game.
Hey, thanks,
If you
Joe
lose
Rogan.
one hand of cards, you're not a card loser for the rest of your life. You got to figure out, what did I do wrong? Well, I hit at 17. I should have just stuck, and I would have been all right.
Yeah.
You got to learn, and
Man.
the only way to learn is to fuck up. And this idea that when someone fucks up, they are a fuck up. No, they're a human being. They're a human being with either bad information or bad counseling or bad examples, and they went down the wrong way.
Get off the carpet.
Yeah.
They knock you down. Get up.
Yep. Get up.
Because they say you still the champ as long as you get up.
Well, a lot of people disagree with that. I mean, it's unfortunate, this mentality that people have. It's a famine mentality. I mean, there's enough for everybody. There really is. And it's also what you were saying, that you like, it's selfish to be generous. It's selfish to be nice. It's selfish to help people because it makes you feel better. It really does. It's really beneficial to you, and you feel good about yourself. You're like, at the end of the night, when you lay your head down, you're like, I'm not a piece of shit. I'm a good guy. I'm helping people. People like me, and I like them. And everybody, we all benefit, and everybody grows. That's nice. That's a good way to live your life. That's a good example to set, and that can be done. It's this idea that there's, that's just you against the world. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's gonna fuck you over.
And I think that's a big problem that we have here. Hopefully we can start working.
Have you met this rapper that has been running around with your name for all these years?
He dodges me.
You never seen him?
No, I call him bad, that stripper. You see what happened the other night? He walked Adrian Broner into the ring.
Adrian Broner got knocked out. Or didn't get knocked out.
The worst beat he ever got before in his life.
Well, Adrian Broner is a cautionary tale because he was an incredibly talented young man. Very, very talented when he was young. But he fucked off too much. And he didn't stay the path. And didn't stay disciplined. And, he had some losses. Maidana hurt him. That was like the first one.
Yeah.
There's a few different fights. He just, and now, what is he, 35, 36?
Broke.
And if you're normal men, healthy men, when they hit 36, their body starts to decline.
Absolutely.
And he's not that healthy. I mean, he was fat just a little while ago. Gervonta Davis took him in, and he started training with Gervonta, and he documented it. So he showed photos of, like, he had this big belly, he looked fat and out of shape, and then leaned himself down to where he had a six-pack again. But you're just getting back in shape. These motherfuckers that you're fighting have been in shape for a decade. They stay in shape for a decade. Their reflexes and timing and technique is finely honed to a razor's edge. You can't just jump back in and compete with some dude who's been on the game for 10 fucking straight years and is focused and on the path. It takes a long time to get back to where you were.
Yes.
Forget about to where they are. You might look the part. You may be able to hit pads and everybody's like, oh, he's back. Like, the difference between success and failure in the boxing game is fractions of a second. Fractions of a second. The ability to maintain a pace for as many rounds as the fight is. The understanding of how to pace yourself. The ability to handle the pressure of knowing that you fucked up for so long and this is a big opportunity. The nerves, the anxiety, the sleepless nights before the fight. All that's going to weigh on you. All those different things. When you look at the elite of the elite boxers, to a man, every one of them, they're disciplined and they stay focused. And like, okay, you know who's the same age as Adrian Broner? Terrence Crawford, best boxer in the world.
I agree.
Best boxer.
I agree.
I am so excited to see this fight with Canelo Alvarez because I think the Saudi Arabians have so much money. They're throwing so much money at boxing, and the guy who's the head of boxing over there wants to make that fight happen. I think Terrence Crawford, forget about the three-weight classes. I think he can beat Canelo.
I think he can too.
He's the best switch hitter in boxing since Marvin Hagler. And he's so...
And his hands are like rocks. I held his hand in Dallas. I found Kid Austin, the boxer.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, when he was 2-0. So I helped him get to where he's at now, even though he don't give me credit for it.
People fucking you over, man.
So I went to that fight, and Terrence was there, and I was with Anthony Peterson. I managed Anthony Peterson. Anthony, 39, he wants to come back. So we'll see. But Anthony deals with it a little different. Anthony stays in shape, sparring. But anyway, I held Terrence's hand like rocks. I was like, damn, he's like rocks. So I'm taking Terrence in that fight. I took him in the Earl Spence fight too.
Yeah, I thought Earl Spence. First of all, Earl Spence, that car accident is crazy. If you watch that car accident, nobody comes out of a car accident like that not damaged. He had to get brain damage from that car accident. That car flipped. He got thrown out of the car. Luckily, he wasn't wearing a seatbelt, which is so crazy. It's one of the few times where someone not wearing a seatbelt saved their life. Yeah, crazy. But that had to fuck him up. I mean, he was undefeated before that.
Yeah.
But you know what? Crawford's just so good.
And he's a different guy.
He's a different guy.
You know, no parties, no drinking.
No, he's clever. He's clever. He sets traps. You know, he's not just a power striker. I mean, not that Errol Spence is not a great boxer. He's a great boxer, but I think Terrence is one of the all-time greats. He's just so slick. Like, you know, like he talked about how he knew that he was going to eat a punch in order to counter, so he had to like put himself in range so he knew Errol could hit him so that he could crack him. He's like, I knew I had to gamble on this. And, you know, there's like levels to the way that guy fight, the game he plays.
Yeah.
When he gets you hurt, you're fucked.
Oh, yeah.
You're fucked.
Oh, yeah. You don't want to be hurt in there with him.
He's not going to miss on opportunities. He's on that all-time greatness track, you know. But again, he's like the same age as Adrian Broner. Like Adrian Broner, when he was young, was crazy talented. He was so fast and so good. But you can't fake that game. You are either all in or you are faking it.
Yeah.
And if you are faking it, you're gonna run into some dude who's all in. You're gonna run into some David Benavidez character that's just not skipping days.
Nah.
Not skipping days.
Who really want it.
Really wants it. It's everything.
But you know,
all
it's
day
hard when
long.
they get the money to stay on that track.
Yes.
You know, when they get rich, you know,
Yep.
you want to enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you want to enjoy your money.
Of course.
You know.
Of course, but you know, that comes at a price. And some people, the only person that I know that has really been able to avoid that temptation is Floyd. Floyd Mayweather was still elite, the elite of the elite, while he had hundreds of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Just still, he would go to a club, drink water, and then run home with his jeans on. Run home for miles. He'd have his driver's drive, and he would run behind him.
We picked him up in Memphis. He got off the plane. Looked like he was on the plane working out.
Oh, he was.
He had on his shorts.
Yeah.
He was sweaty. And he ran straight in, went in the shower, showered up, and put his suit on, and went to the club. So what you're saying is what I believe is correct.
Yeah, he shows you all the watches and shows you all the cars and shows you the big house. And what you don't see is the discipline, just the straightforward, eyes on the prize, discipline and focus. That's how you get to be a Floyd Mayweather. You don't get to be a Floyd Mayweather any other way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talented people out there. There's a lot of people that are gifted, athletically gifted. They're faster than other folks. They hit harder than other folks. But it's the discipline, the focus that leads you to the end. That's how you become a great. There's no other way. There's no one becomes like a Sugar Ray Leonard or a Floyd Mayweather or a Tommy Hearns without discipline. It doesn't happen. You have to stay focused, always. And if you don't, then worse. Then you're left with a life of regret.
Well, that's what we were saying about the drug business. I mean, it applies to really anything. And that's why I believe that I can play major roles in so many different businesses because, you know, and I'm at the point in my life that I know that all I got to do is sacrifice for a couple months and you're in the game, you know. I've been in boxing now for like 6 years, you know.
Really?
Yeah, I manage about 6 or 7 fighters.
Who do you manage?
I got a guy, Bashan Champ right now, Alvin Vermeers. I just signed a kid. I just signed my first national champs. I got like 4 national champs. Ashland out of North Carolina. I can't even think everybody's anymore. I shouldn't have named nobody.
That's
everybody,
okay.
Everybody be like, why you didn't mention me? Why you didn't give me a shout out?
Yeah.
But I got about four national champs that I'm signing this year. And I don't. I'm not a big fan of boxing.
You're not?
No.
Really?
I mean, I think when You're trying to knock the most valuable thing that a human being has, which is their brain. You're trying to knock their brain out.
Right.
I think it's almost like dealing coke almost.
So why are you involved in it?
Because I hate to see these guys win at the end of their career.
And they're gonna do it. So you're gonna try to help.
And then they have so much.
Wow. That is the thing. When you see someone succeed in some of the disciplined life, especially if you're a fan of a boxer, it'll make you want to live like that.
Yeah, so I just felt that I could step in and really help these guys with their money, as well as help them become the mentors that they should be. And that's why I got into boxing. I started, Floyd picked me up in the halfway house.
He did?
Yeah, picked me up in the halfway house. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And I was trying to, show him what I know, but he didn't really want to use me for that.
Have you ever seen anybody confront Rick Ross about you?
Not in person. No. Anytime I'm around, he disappears.
But is there any video of anybody hey, why are you running around with this dude's name when this dude's out of jail now?
But these guys, they kind of like me talk about when you got some money. Yes, beating women, making them get tampons. Everybody fuck with you. Right. So, he was on top of the world.
He was a corrections officer.
Yeah, but he was. When he got some money, they forgot about he was a correctional officer. You got gangsters, doing records with him, and people who say, "Oh, I hate snitches" and all this, but they're doing records with a police officer who put handcuffs. I got letters from guys that was in jail with him when he was a correctional officer, and they told me what a shitty guy he was. They would be shooting dice and would take the dice and all that money. And, they got extra soup. He'd take the soups. And just stuff that normal officers just don't. Officers. Everybody in jail got extra soups. You save your soup because it might come a time and you ain't got them, so you stack your stuff up. But most officers don't even care. Who cares about extra soup? We trying to get the dope dealers and the guys with the knives, but then you got those ones and they're like, you got an extra pair of underwear. You going to the hole.
Real. And that's how he was?
That's how he was. They say that's the kind of cop he was. And then when I hear that he's the biggest gangster rapper on the planet,
it's just so crazy. What is it like having a dude running around out there with your name? Like, if there was a rapper out there named Joe Rogan, I'd be like, what the fuck?
I mean, it's crazy. How would you take my name and not have the decency to ask me first of all? You should have asked. But then never pay homage. He won't even admit that he stole the name. He tells people that he invented the name. Like, how the fuck do you invent this name?
Well, it's so crazy because the name was famous. Your name was famous. Everybody knew who you were. When the case came out and when the connection to the Iran-Contra affair came out, when everybody found out what was going on, you were a legend.
Yeah, you throw a few $1 million, for an Instagram, and Facebook, and the radio station, and everybody forget about that, And you put a little gold chain on. You drive
nuts.
A Rolls Royce and a couple of pretty girls.
It's one thing if his name was Rick Ross. It's possible there could be another Rick Ross out there. I've met other Joe Rogans. It's real.
Me too. I met other Rick Rosses.
But what the fuck, man? The guy knows who you are. Everybody knows who you are. Takes your name. I mean, it's like, it doesn't even make sense that it's like, didn't you have a case? You had a legal case about it.
I lost the case.
How the fuck did you lose?
They say I should have filed a lawsuit. The judge got to make a technical decision. She had to make a decision, when did the public first become known of him using the name. So what she did, she picked a little radio station outside of Miami that played his record for the first time. So that was the date that the public first became known that he was using the name.
So there was a statute of limitations and when you were supposed to address it?
Yes.
How much time?
2 years.
What?
Yeah, 2 years. So if we went by her time frame, I should have
What does
filed
that
my
even mean?
lawsuit 5 days before I got out of jail.
Oh my God,
I was 5 days late.
that's so crazy.
But I think she would have found another reason
Right.
to come up with a date.
Well, the record company probably would have helped, right? I mean, think about how much money they're making off of him.
Oh, yeah. They would have owed me. They have 15 lawyers. You know how much money they say they spent on the lawsuit?
How much?
$1.5 million.
Wow.
You know how much they offered me?
How much?
Zero. They never come and say, hey, man.
What would you have accepted? Just to like.
Well, you know, Joe, my mom, we was getting evicted out of my mom's house during the time of the lawsuit. So I imagine, because she was losing the house for $220,000. So if somebody would have came up and said, hey,
Oh, it's the
I'll
one with
say
the
your
power
mom's
ups?
house. Because, you know, I was worried about my mom. My mom was, at that time, she was 80, 84. And one of my biggest concerns was her being homeless. So I probably would have took $220,000. If he would have came and said, hey, I'm going to sell your mom's house. Let me have Rick Ross. Change your name to Mitch or whatever.
Well, you would never change your name. That's crazy.
But I would
Just license it.
I didn't even care about the name.
Right.
I didn't care about the name. I just felt that it was so disrespectful that he didn't come and ask me, or he didn't show any consideration or pay any homage to the fact that he actually took my name.
Just slam dunked
But
you.
yeah, I probably
That
would
was
have took
crazy.
250,000. If they'd have said 300,000, I would have took a peek. Because I felt that I didn't need much money to get started. You know,
Meanwhile, they spent 1.5?
1.5 million. I owe them right now. I owe them $1 million.
What?
Yeah, I'm $1 million. I got $1 million judgment.
Because you have to pay their legal fees.
I had to pay their legal.
Oh my.
And then the judge was like, "Oh, well, I don't believe you guys actually spend 1.5 million, but maybe $1 million."
Oh. Isn't that insane? For your name, your fucking name, and you can't appeal this?
Well, we appealed it, but you know, once you lose to the appeals court, you're not going to the Supreme Court. Yeah, that's how he wound up being able to continue to use the name. You know, he changed to Rosado because they thought they might lose. If this judge picks a different date, you know, we go to trial.
Right.
And they didn't want to go to trial. I think if they didn't went to trial, everybody in LA would have, they would have handled it. You know, you stole that name. If you'd have heard the thing that he did, you know, we did his deposition. We took his depo. That was the first time I ever met him in person. You know, he wouldn't shake my hand either. No, when he walked in, all the attorneys on a big table, it was about 12 people in the room, and he walks in, and he walks around the table, shakes everybody, including my lawyer. He shakes my lawyer's hands and everybody, and I stood up to shake his hand, because I don't have no hard feelings. Give me my money.
Right.
So he rolls his eyes at me and walks, turns the show. Wow. You know, and then he comes up with this. Oh my goodness, I don't know where he got this story. He said he played football in high school, and the whole team was called the Big East. And some guy was trying to call him Big East and accidentally called him the Big Boss, and then somebody else called him Rick Ross. He went from Big Boss to Rick Ross.
This episode is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace has a range of inbuilt tools that make it easy to create beautiful websites all in one place. Get discovered fast with integrated, optimized SEO tools. Choose from professionally curated layout and styling options with Squarespace Blueprint. Plus, make checkout seamless for your customers with simple but powerful payment methods. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial and save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain with the code ROGAN.
Ross. That's his story. How he came up with the name.
That's the dumbest fucking story.
If I'd have been the judge, I would have hammered him just for saying, you know, come in my courtroom lying like that. I would be like,
That's the dumbest. But that's impossible. If he's rapping about drug dealing and money, it's impossible that he doesn't know who you are. Impossible. Impossible. Not possible. Everybody knows. I knew who you were. I had heard the story.
well, you know, in
I don't
90
even remember when I read about it.
when Gary Webb published a story in '96 for San Jose Mercury News, my name that year was one of the biggest names in the country.
Yeah, because the story was insane.
It was the first time any story had ever been published on the internet by a major newspaper. Remember, the internet was brand new.
Right.
So when they published that article on the internet, no story had ever. Because remember, the CIA tried to recall that article, but once it hit the internet, it can't be recalled.
They tried to recall the article?
You don't remember?
I don't.
The printed copies they stopped doing. They took the CIA emails off and everything.
Really?
Yeah, they made them take all that stuff off. But the internet couldn't be, you couldn't take it back at the time. Once it hit the internet, it's like, boom, it's all over the world. When you hit that button, there ain't no recall.
Right.
If you put something on that thing and you hit that button, what you said is what you said. You're gonna have to live with that. So when it went viral, there was nothing they could do, and it just was crazy. So everybody picked it up. CNN, Nightline, Dayline, 2020. I'm doing like 6 interviews from my jail cell every day. Every day, people coming out talking to me. And I told you, that's when the CIA came down. The CIA came to my jail cell and interviewed me. The CIA, the OIG, Congress, Maxine Waters. I mean, it was like, fuck, I become a celebrity in jail. Like, they start treating me different.
What did the CIA say to you in jail?
What did I know about cocaine, being trafficked by the Contras? Which, I didn't really know about the Contras. I knew Danilo. I don't know about no damn Contras.
You knew the guy who was supplying you.
Yeah, that's all I don't know if he was a Contra, CIA, I don't know about that shit. I never cared. I'm an illiterate, 28, 30-year-old guy from South Central, never watched the news, and I'd heard about the Iran-Contra stuff, but that shit didn't mean nothing to me. Had no effect on South Central LA. You know what I'm saying? I don't know that my prices and my drug quality depending on what happened over there. I'm not paying no attention to that. I'm just worried about, man, my drugs gonna get here on time. Is it gonna be cheap? Is it gonna be good? So when all that stuff was coming about, they wanted to know how much money I was making, who I bought drugs from, years I bought drugs, just a whole, basically, like an interview.
So how do you think it worked? Do you think there's like a rogue element that was inside of the government?
Oh, absolutely.
So,
but, I not mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Because it was a rogue element to it. But the rogue element come from the top as well. Not that they necessarily sanctioned it, but they knew it.
That was insane.
And they turned a
last
blind
goal.
eye.
Insane.
Blind eye. It was a saying. Nancy Reagan said, "Say no," and Ronald Reagan said, "Act like you don't know." So
yeah, that's what they did.
They admitted. CIA admitted. Yes, we knew they were selling drugs.
Oh shit.
And we did nothing to stop them. So right there is a crime. Because
Right.
if you're an agent of the government and you know somebody's committing a crime, you're supposed to stop it.
Right.
But they understood that if they stop that, they lose the war.
Right. Phew. It just makes you wonder how much of that shit was going on during the Vietnam War. Because a lot of people think that the Vietnam War was, a lot of it was about moving heroin.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, and that makes sense. It makes sense. Like, if you are in a bit, especially the Vietnam War, right? Because the Vietnam War was started with a false flag. So the Gulf of Tonkin incident starts the Vietnam War. The Gulf of Tonkin incident never took place. It was a fake incident. They said we were attacked by North Korea. North Vietnam. We have to go in there and fight the Viet Cong. Never happened. It was fake. They made it up just to get us to go to war. So if you're willing to kill, who knows how many Americans died in that war? Hundreds of thousands, probably. How many people died during the war? How many American soldiers? I think it's close to 100,000, maybe more.
Oh my god, this is so funny.
And then how many Vietnamese died? Like the overall cost of lives, catastrophic. And they did it knowing
Well, you know,
Okay,
sometimes they feel that
58,220 U.S. Fatal casualties. And that doesn't include how many people are wounded and fucked up for the rest of their life. How many people died total? How many people died all? That's Vietnam War. What's the total deaths? That's just American deaths.
and that ain't counting Agent Orange.
Right. 1.4 million civilian casualties in South Vietnam because of the war, including, right, I understand, including 415,000 deaths, and estimated by the Defense Department gave a figure of 1.2 million civilian casualties, 195,000. It's all controversial what the actual number was. 1978 estimated 1,353,000 total deaths in North and South Vietnam during that period. Fuck, man. And that, so if they're willing to do that, you don't think they're willing to make money on drugs? I mean, if they're willing to let people die so that they can achieve their objectives, they're willing to.
Well, they felt that, you know, to sacrifice a few people to stop what they felt was the greatest threat to America.
Right.
Was with Russia being on our southern hemisphere, you know, being in Nicaragua. You know, they felt that was the greatest threat at that time to our democracy.
Yeah.
And they felt that they would do anything to stop that.
What a crazy thing to do, though. To think about the sacrifices what it's gonna do to American citizens, including the people that, like you, went to jail for helping them. The whole thing's crazy. And they probably did it during Afghanistan.
And we still
too.
suffering now. That's the homeless problem. Yes. Most of the people that's homeless was on crack.
Right. Or something else. Yeah. What's going on right now? Yeah. Crazy. It's just, there's so much wrong. And, you know, we were just saying, I think that's a lot of the Afghanistan war, too. There was one of the best videos out of the Afghanistan war, it's so ridiculous, is watching Geraldo Rivera interview soldiers that are guarding poppy fields. They have to guard the poppy fields, because if they don't, then these poppy farmers won't side with them, and they'll side with the Taliban. So they're interviewing American soldiers
well-deserved.
for guarding heroin being grown. And then during the United States occupation of Afghanistan, heroin production went up, I think at the peak, like 96%.
Yeah, I heard that as well.
And it was a giant percentage of the world's supply of heroin. And we're guarding it? What?
And it didn't become that until after we went over there.
And you don't think someone had a piece of that? That's crazy talk. If they did it with the Contras and the Sandinistas, you don't think they would do it with Afghanistan? I think there's rogue elements that look at drug dealing and look at it as an opportunity to make money to fund Black Ops projects, to fund things that are, you know, that don't get put on the ledger. Nobody has to know about it.
Well, I mean, and just think that if we didn't have situations like what you got here with your podcast, the people wouldn't even know about this stuff.
Right.
Where would the normal person find out? They're not going to talk about that on CNN,
No.
Nightline, Dayline, NBC. None of those people are going to talk about these topics. I mean, I'd be totally baffled, Joe, with some of the stuff that takes place in this country. You know, I've been on every major news channel in this country. Since I've been home, I feel I have done some amazing things. You know, I spoke at UCLA, USC, Stanford, St. John's. Nobody covered me. Nobody came and heard me talk to young people about how they're going to get started selling drugs, how you're going to get introduced to drugs, who's going to introduce you to drugs. Like, most people don't even know how people get introduced to drugs. They thinking that it's some boogeyman that comes with a drug jacket on, he's hiding in the door. Hey, little kid, you want some drugs? And I'm like, no, that's not how it's going to happen. It's going to be your best friend. It's going to be your uncle, your father, your mother, your brother, your sister. Those are the ones that you trust.
We're catching up.
Those are the ones that can get your confidence to make you accept something that, you know, some strange guy come around, you know, most girls gonna take off, you know. But your friends, the people that you care about, that you trust, you're gonna believe in it. And they cover none of this. Nobody covers this. Nobody talks about this. Nobody talks about good things that go on in the community. You know, feeding the homeless, people who are trying to do housing, like your guy who you just showed me. I never heard of this guy. You know, why is he not being talked about? Why is he not on the news? You know, why they not trying to get funding for him? You know, why they not saying, man, this guy had a couple $100 million or you know, I mean, in California, taxpayers agreed to give up extra taxes, and I think they raised like $1 billion and some change for the homeless problem. Where's the money go? Where's that money?
Went to a bunch of people's salaries, didn't fix shit.
And that's the problem that I have with our major news people. You know, it's biased. You know, they're not gonna keep it 100. They're not gonna be real. You know.
They're funded. That's what's really crazy. The news probably
my Instalink expired. Oh shit!
They probably shouldn't be allowed to be advertised. They shouldn't be allowed to have advertising. Because as soon as you have advertisers, especially like pharmaceutical drug companies,
well, you know how to search on Insta.
Then you can't
just
criticize
super deluxe.
Those people are the people that pay your bills. And even if it's not written down anywhere, you're not gonna like go do investigative journalism on Pfizer. If brought to you by Pfizer, you're not gonna do any of that shit.
There you go, right there.
You're not gonna do that shit, so you're not the news anymore.
And that answers your question about the rapper.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they question him? Because he's backed by big corporations.
Exactly. And he's worth a lot of money. He's going to keep generating money for all those people. And he still is. Like, how many years ago was this case?
Let's go.
Yeah. Think about how much money he's made with that name since that case.
I can't remember. 10 years.
Crazy.
12 years. Because I was still on parole. I was still on parole when we were doing that case.
He bought Evander Holyfield's house in Atlanta.
You
know that house that Evander Holyfield got? Evander, when he was a champ, was going crazy. And I guess he just built the craziest fucking house.
He just spent on everything?
Enormous house on this giant piece of land.
50 some bedrooms, I heard.
Something crazy. Like, I don't know what he's doing.
Super crazy.
I guess he just wanted the biggest, crazy. I'm the fucking champ. I want the biggest, craziest fucking house that's ever existed. And he had to wind up selling it. And Rick Ross lives in it. Guys running around with their name.
But that's our system. And those are the people that are leading our people. They're the ones that's dictating what's going to go on in society. I mean, so much of our kids are being educated by music, TV.
Yeah.
I mean, I've actually went to a school, and the kids accused me of stealing his name.
How old were the kids?
14, 15.
Did you have to tell them?
Yeah, I told them. They didn't believe me.
They didn't.
No.
Wow.
Bro.
Because they've been brainwashed. You know what they call it? Programming.
Yeah.
Over and over and over and over again. You know? And that's why, I started my own record label. The two guys that's outside, those are two artists that I'm working with right now, Reddy and Juice the Mac. I said, you know what? I'm going to start my own label. I'm going to get somebody to go against you. You got to fight fire with fire. So, I got into, I'm doing so many things right now, man. But I'm having fun, man.
That's good. It's good to hear.
I'm helping people.
It's good to see
I'm
you
helping
happy.
them with their career, and I enjoy helping people.
That's beautiful. So, the marijuana business.
Damn, I missed that.
Like, did you get nervous about being involved? Because it is still federally illegal, even though is it officially Schedule 3 now, or is it scheduled to be scheduled? Like, what is the current status of it? I always stayed away. I got a bunch of offers to do it. I'm like, that's a trap. Because it's still Schedule 1.
Yeah,
Come on,
like there's
teammate.
like I said, that Delta 9 stuff. That's legal, I think, in every state.
Totally.
Yeah.
Well, no, some states ban.
I think
weed states are banning it.
Oh, really?
Because it's taking away tax dollars.
Oh no! So weed states are banning Delta 9 THC.
Yeah,
That is hilarious.
It goes against marijuana.
Oh my God.
That's taking away marijuana sales.
Spy versus spy, dog eat dog.
Because they can't tax. They can't tax CBD.
Well, CBD's different. We're talking about Delta 9 THC, but CBD
That still comes.
should be.
It's a derivative. It's all part of the same. They fall under the same category.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're just a little different.
Yeah. Well, isn't Brittany Griner? She got arrested in Russia for CBD vape pen, right? Which I think
that was marijuana.
Was it marijuana?
They said it was marijuana.
Oh, okay. She was saying it was CBD. CBD. Because they do have CBD vape pens.
They do.
That I know people like. Look, CBD is phenomenal for inflammation. It's so good. Just general well-being and just health, alleviating anxiety, alleviating inflammation. CBD is phenomenal. And there's places where that's illegal, which is just bananas.
Yeah. And California's trying to make it illegal right now. They're just taking away their tax dollars.
That is so stupid. That's so stupid. It hurts my feelings.
Because they sell it in every smoke shop. That's CBD.
They're trying to make it illegal?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so dumb. That's so dumb. That is so dumb.
There's a lot of states that actually sell marijuana.
What happened to that? The process of reclassifying a substance is lengthy. There's still more hurdles to clear. The plan has been approved by Attorney General Merrick Garland and heads next to the DEA, which will take public comment on the proposal. After a 60-day comment period, there'll be a review by an administrative judge. The move started with a recommendation from the Federal Health and Human Services Department, which launched to review the drug's status and the urging of President Biden in 2022. This is a long-ass process. But the DEA has not yet formed its own determination as to where marijuana should be scheduled and expects to learn more during the rulemaking process. That's funny. Learn more. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. You know what it is.
With DEA, they don't want it to be.
Of course.
They can keep locking people up. We need more money.
That's what's really crazy. It's the prison guard unions. Prison guard unions lobby to make sure that marijuana stays illegal.
Absolutely.
That is something that
They got big budgets.
Yeah. They do. And that is something that is wrong in this world, that we have private prisons, and that we have people that are benefiting and profiting off of people being in jail. Because as soon as you make a profit off of something, you're going to want to keep making that profit.
Yes. And they want to keep you that longer.
And imagine if there was just no more lawbreakers. Imagine if a genie cast a magic spell on the world and everybody just stopped committing crimes. No more crimes. And then you can't put anybody in prison. What the fuck? They'd be like, what about our business? Let's make other things crimes. How about thought crimes? I don't like the way you looked at me. That's a crime.
You got these big facilities we built.
Worth unbelievable amounts of money that generate money. They treat human beings like a battery. Like you're a battery that generates money. And that's what it's like in these things. It's bizarre. It's bizarre that people didn't see where that was going. That they allowed
the basketball
private prisons.
Well, they sow fear.
Yeah, well, in this country,
if you don't lock them up,
anybody.
If you don't lock them up, they're gonna come into your house and rob you and kill you.
Here's a big thing that's a
Come into my house, I dare you.
Okay, for example, the proposal does not specify whether state-licensed dispensaries would need to be licensed pharmacies, because only a pharmacy can dispense Schedule III drugs. Other questions surrounded the coordination of federal regulations related to drug approval, manufacturing, supply chain monitoring, storage, and prescribing. So prescribing, we go back to prescribing it? Yeah, it needs to be legal. Like, what happens if it gets legal in all the states? Here's the thing. It's legal right now for recreational use in how many states? I think it's 19. Is it 19 states? Something. So what happens if it's all 50? And the federal government is not with us.
I think it's like 20s or 30s.
Here, the federal government, we believe, is a Schedule I.
And they still allow it to be taxed.
Yes.
When it becomes a Schedule III, the taxes are changed too.
What?
Right. They'll probably make less schedules.
Yeah, they make less taxes as a Schedule III.
Up to 24 now that allow
24.
recreational use.
24.
38 have medical.
Half of the country.
Yes.
So 38 states have medical?
Yeah,
Is Texas have medical?
38,
It's
they
in the
do, but
30s.
it's very low.
You gotta have AIDS.
Yeah, you do technically. I think you have to have AIDS.
You gotta be on death's door. You gotta be on death's door. Well, give them one joint and regulate it.
But you can believe a lot of money coming out of Texas going to other places.
Yeah, it's stupid. It's stupid.
Because they're not.
Exactly. It should be legal. 38 medical and recreational. So 19, did you say 24? So half the country.
It's only a hand, like it was like 3 states have no access. It's Idaho, Nebraska, and Kansas.
So Texas has a CBD low THC program, and then adult and medical use regulated program is all over the place now. New Mexico, Nevada, California, Colorado, Missouri, Illinois, Minnesota, Montana, Washington, Oregon, Michigan, Ohio, Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, even fucking New York, which is like, New York used to be a bad place to get weed. If you got weed in New York, if you smoke weed outside, they'd arrest you. You get caught outside, you try to buy weed. New York was sketchy.
Yeah.
And now I go there, and there's stores everywhere. I'm like, this is great. Vegas was dangerous, man. During the 70s, when Hunter S. Thompson's day, you would get fucking thrown in jail for your life, for your whole life, for having weed on you. And now they have stores everywhere.
Biggest stores in the country.
Yeah, huge stores. It should be that way everywhere, and they should make money from taxes. Let's not be stupid. So what does the federal government do if now it's 24? So it's literally half the country has legal marijuana. What happens if it's all of the country? The federal government is like, we're the country. No, it's supposed to be the states, you assholes. Like, this is set up this way on purpose. If you have to have the states
Jimmy
give the
Neutron
states
over
rights
here.
to regulate things. If the people have decided in all those other states, look, man, if you ask the average person, if we had a vote,
Savage.
just a popular opinion vote in this country, whether marijuana should be legal, it would be legal tomorrow. 100%. I mean, what is the amount of people that approve, and the amount of people that don't approve it, they're probably ignorant. Or they're people that are like hardcore, anti-everything people.
Yeah.
But
I think the country would be safer. I mean, have you ever known anybody smoking marijuana to go out and commit a robbery? No, they're gonna sit on the couch and they're gonna get something to eat.
yeah,
They're gonna be watching TV.
it's not the kind of drug that encourages people to do horrible things.
If I had my way, I would give it to gangbangers for free. Oh,
Nearly
go smoke weed.
7
What
in
a
10
shot.
registered voters favor legalizing the recreational use of marijuana on a national level. 7 out of 10.
Wow.
And it's still illegal. I mean, how is that? We the people? What is that? What is that? Is that to serve and protect? What the fuck is going on? What are you doing? It's just weed, kids. We know what it is. You know how many people died from weed? 0. Ever. 0 ever. 0 ever. The only way you die from weed is if a CIA drug plane throws a bale out the window of the plane and it hits you in the head. That's how you die.
Or they raid your house and shoot.
Yeah, or you get a
you selling
no-knock
weed.
raid. Yeah. No-knock raids are crazy. That is crazy. Just bust into someone's house, and if someone breaks in your house, what do? You shoot them. That's what most people do, and then the cops shoot you. It's like the whole
Savage.
Why
For
would you
weed.
Why would you be raiding somebody's house for weed?
for weed. For weed. I mean, we're gonna look back in the future on this, like they look at the Inquisition. They're gonna, what the fuck was wrong with people back then? They're gonna look at us like that. How many people went to jail? How many people's lives got ruined over marijuana? Are we kidding?
How much money did they blow?
Exactly. It's
Talking
just-
about they have a homeless population that don't have a place to stay,
Yeah.
and people not having anything to eat. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. You can tax it, folks. Legalize it and tax it. Even if you don't want to do it yourself, you don't have to do it yourself. I know a lot of people that hate it. Good. Don't use it. You don't have to. I get it.
And don't sell it.
Don't sell it.
But you know what's so funny? The people who used to lock everybody up, now they selling it.
A lot of them do. Yeah, I know cops that sell weed now.
Well, the biggest weed dealer probably in America was an ex-cop. He's the biggest guy. He just bought $5 million. 5 million square feet of grow area.
That's bananas.
He's
How
the
crazy
biggest.
is that?
He's the biggest guy probably in the country.
Well, good for him. But that should
Ex-cop.
be
They used
for
to lock
every-
people up.
So nuts.
I mean, those should be the guys that say, "Oh, you used to lock people up for marijuana. You cannot get into business."
Yeah.
If I had my way, that's what I would do. Hey,
Yeah.
did you lock somebody up?
Yeah.
Okay, you can't get in.
or we take the amount of time that you locked all those people up for, and then you have to wait that amount of time before you can sell weed. So you can sell weed in 3 more lives. Probably wouldn't even be that. It'd probably be like 100 lives.
This country's crazy, man.
People are crazy everywhere. You know, it's hard to keep your shit together. You know, and you give people power over other people. People that don't have their shit together have power over other people, and then things just get worse. Yeah. Weird. It's weird we don't learn. You know, a friend of mine sent me the lyrics to the song "I'd Love to Change the World," which is like 70, 71 or something like that. And he's like, isn't it crazy that there's like a cycle? Like, because the same shit they're talking about then is going on now. And then I sent him this Assyrian tablet from 2800 BC that talked about the same thing. We talked about it the other day on the podcast. This Assyrian tablet that talked about the end of the world. That children aren't listening to their parents. And people are
Frustration
lying,
noises.
And the world's falling apart. In 2800 BC. So it's like this cycle of people being stupid and just not getting their shit together has been going on forever. But there's never been more information than ever before. Like the access to information that people have right now is unprecedented.
Oh, yeah.
The fact that we continue to make the same stupid mistakes, regardless of that, is just really, that's really disheartening.
But you know what? The way I see it, it doesn't matter if you're smart.
Oh no.
It's who got the loudest horn. If your horn toots the loudest,
Right.
everybody hears you.
And if the message gets out first, if the loud toot horn message gets out first, it takes forever for the truth to like overcome it.
To get in.
Yeah, forever. Because also people don't once they accept something in their head, it takes forever.
Yeah, it becomes theirs. They own
Yeah,
it.
They own it. They don't.
This is mine.
They don't want to change it. Something has to happen to them for to change it.
Yeah.
You know?
No, I agree. I see that all the time. And that didn't work. Oh no, it worked. I just did it wrong that time.
Let's keep trying to lock people up. We're
froze that.
gonna fix it through locking people up.
Yeah. We're gonna get it right. We just gotta lock up more people, build more jails,
Yeah.
hire more police.
Yeah. It's just
Let's go.
it's just disheartening when you see the same patterns repeated over and over again, regardless of how much people know. But I think there's also a problem with, we think people know, but I think a lot of people don't know what the fuck is going on. A lot of people don't really have enough.
Where they gonna get the information?
Right, exactly.
Who they get it from?
Right.
We already went through CNN, Fox, the local radio station. Especially if you're talking about hip hop. If you turn on hip hop radio stations,
Yeah,
I would not let
Guys
my
like
kids
mouth
listen to
breathing
hip-hop.
hardcore.
they're gonna be talking about killing, pimping, selling drugs, killing. I mean, you'd be like, what the fuck? They let this stuff play on the air? I mean, it's crazy.
It is crazy.
And then they wonder why the kids bring guns to school.
But did you also see there's been these articles written about the CIA's involvement in the creation of gangster rap? That they help promote and push gangster rap.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, this is all of it's controversial, but I wouldn't be surprised because apparently they
What a
had
game.
they had some sort of an involvement in
like
the
Joe
rock
Rogan.
and roll movement of the 1960s in Laurel Canyon, and there's been books written about this. That they have some sort of involvement in promoting these kind of
what, Joe
activities,
Rogan?
both with rock and roll in the 60s and then gangster rap in the 80s.
In the 80s.
And they do it to try, I think the idea is they do it to try to make sure that society is always in a state of unrest. And that they wanted to keep
They need
people,
that.
Yeah, they wanted to keep people in a state of unrest and promote criminal behavior and criminal activity and gang activity, and to do it in popular music, and that would make more crime and make more things happen, and that they can get away with more levers of control because of that.
Make it a money.
Makes sense.
See, you've seen that before, right, Jamie?
It comes from
Is it bullshit?
well, it's not that it's bullshit. It's like an anonymous letter that went around the internet.
The secret meeting that changed rap music and destroyed a generation.
Got printed on like a hip hop blog.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I remember that letter.
Yeah.
They talked about the big meeting where all the record labels got together because they knew they wasn't selling music anymore, so they invested in prison.
No one knows who wrote it.
Right.
They were playing like that.
Right. That's it? That's the only source of it? There wasn't other sources?
And then it went viral. Everyone, some people that liked it, repeated it, and others, I don't know. Seems to be the source.
I thought there was some other things. I thought there was other discussions about different meetings that took place. I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, it makes sense, you know.
Yeah.
If you listen to what they're promoting now,
Tweedledum and Tweedledee over here.
They don't promote no positive music. You
Right.
know, no love songs. You know, we was coming up. It was about love songs.
Right.
you know?
Marvin Gaye.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, Luther Vandross. Yeah, it's weird that would be a strategy that would work if you wanted civil unrest. If you wanted people to stay fucked up. You wanted people to not organize, not rise up. What's the best strategy? Promote illegal activity. Promote it. Promote drug dealings. Promote
Make
killing.
it look good.
Make it look good.
Dress them up. Give me Evander Holyfield's house. Even if you used to be a correctional officer.
Yeah.
And now you're a gangster.
There we go.
Yeah.
Tell them you sold 300 kilos. Oh, how'd you get this house? Oh, I sold 300 kilos.
Nasty
How many
shit.
people do you think actually know the story, the whole story, the real story, your story, of you and this guy who calls himself Rick Ross?
I think older people know, but younger people don't. They don't get it.
Wow.
They're not educated on facts. You know, they don't go with facts. They go with what they hear on the radio, what their local DJ talks about. Those are the things that they go with. And we already know that the local DJ is getting paid by the record company. So that's what they believe. I believe that they really believe that Jay-Z got rich selling drugs. You know? They believe it. I don't believe Jay-Z got rich selling drugs. You know, he doesn't act like a drug dealer, in my personal opinion.
What's the difference? The way he acts.
Well, drug dealers are kind of like, we're looking for somebody to help come up. Because when you help him come up, you come up. You know, say for instance, if I find a guy, he's down on this level, and I give him a kilo, he starts to sell his kilo, I benefit every time he sells that kilo. I get a percentage.
Right.
Of what he does. But the way the record business works is they don't help anybody. You know, when they get hot, they just stay there, and it's almost like they're gatekeepers. You know, they don't want other people to see me.
What just happened?
I would have been looking for somebody like me getting out of jail. Oh, Rick Ross is getting out of jail? Oh, goodness, I'm going to be at the gate when he get out. I'm showing him everything he's supposed to do, get him right, because I know he has the discipline. He has the focus that he's going to make it.
Yeah, but don't you think that that's just you? I think you have a unique perspective.
But that's a drug dealer's perspective.
Is it really? A successful drug dealer's perspective.
A successful drug dealer. Let me correct that. And most of the drug dealers I was around was successful. Because I used to try to teach them. I taught them what I did. You know, when they was young, I was showing, hey, this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is who you look for. And so you're highly right, a successful drug dealer's perspective. And most successful drug dealers go to prison. And so we know Jay-Z didn't go to prison, even though he was in a car with, I think Calvin Klein, when he got arrested, DA let Jay-Z go. That's the story that I heard. I'm not totally sure.
He was in a car with Calvin Klein? Were they talking about things?
There's a guy named Calvin Klein.
Different guy?
From New York.
Oh. And
No.
Calvin Klein, a drug
He
dealer?
was a drug dealer.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was a drug dealer from New
I
York.
thought you mean like
The G's. You thought the G
Calvin
guy.
Klein's, yeah.
No. This was a drug dealer out of New York.
That's hilarious.
And he got
so
arrested.
he took Calvin Klein's name. Like Rick Ross took your name? Unless his name was really Calvin Klein. That's possible.
No, I think the guy's real name was Calvin Klein.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was really his name. You know, because he was a real street guy. Went to prison and the whole 9 yards. But it's a story that talks about that. Jay-Z was in the car with him when he got arrested. He didn't get arrested, so more than likely that meant, in my experience, if you're in a car with a drug dealer and the cops raid, they take everybody that was involved. So wow. Jay-Z wasn't involved with that activity.
Got it. At least at that time.
That they knew.
Right.
And usually the DA, they watch you. Some of them when they're not lazy.
But what is it like in the world, like if you rap about selling drugs and about how you're selling drugs, but you weren't selling drugs, that can't be looked upon well. If you're lying and you're making up a fake persona.
It shouldn't be.
Right.
It shouldn't be. Back in the 90s when rap was supposed to be authentic, people wrote their own lyrics.
Right.
And that stuff was a little different than the way it is right now. Now, you can write your lyrics, you can steal people's names, you can steal their verses. It's just totally different than the way it used to be. You can buy your way to the top now. You don't have to have talent necessarily. The most talented guys are not the guys who run the industry.
A lot of the talented guys are producers too, right? And they can kind of make anybody famous.
Yeah.
If you have some talent and a look.
And you go pay the right producer.
Yeah, but there's a lot of examples.
Because music is programming.
Right.
You hear the sound and you like that sound. And that's why we hear the same sounds over and over on the radio, because it's the same producer. Like, I'm just waiting to get my money right so I can go to the producers and be like, hey, I know you want been putting all these guys on. I got a guy for you. Put him on. We ready. How much you need? 100,000. Do it. Because that's really what it is. There's only a few guys who really keep on the radio over and over again.
Wow.
You're Optimus Prime
but then
over
you
here.
Have people who just stand out just because of talent. Still, you still have that.
Once in a while, you want to break through. You get somebody that's like super good and their music just break through. But that's rare. They still got to have some money. You gotta pay Facebook and TikTok.
Gatekeeper. Yeah, there's just a lot. It's an industry, right? There's a lot of money involved. As soon as there's a lot of money involved, there's control. People want to maintain control of that. They don't want someone coming along.
Yeah, I mean, I look at my case, right? If you go on the internet, I got millions and millions.
Just letting this guy score, man. He's got it going on. I only have one goal.
But then you go on my Instagram, I got 300,000 followers.
Instagram is weird, man.
I walk through the airport, right? I can hardly walk through the airport. People,
Right.
Rick,
Right.
can I get a picture? And then my friends be like, man, all the people looking at you, they want to talk to you, but So when I experience that, I understand that they haven't let me grow to where I should be.
Yeah, but I think social media companies, other than Twitter, X now, I think they all have different ways of limiting growth. Just different things.
Really?
Like my friend Coleon Noir, he has an Instagram page that's dedicated to
guns.
Second Amendment. He was a lawyer, and he does a lot of Second Amendment stuff. A lot of like talking about guns and gun laws and different things. He's been stuck at 1 million followers forever. He's been on this podcast like how many times? How many times has Coleon been on? 5, 6? 5 or 6 times? Great guy. Interesting. Really fun to talk to. Smart as fuck. Like, you would think his shit would grow. Stuck at 1 million. Just stuck. Like, locked up.
Yeah.
Like, what's going on there? How is that even possible? It's only possible if someone's limiting the growth.
Absolutely.
There's no other way. If you come on this podcast and 11 million people or 15 million people,
ways.
whatever the fuck it is, see you, what is the odds that you stay at 1 million? It's almost zero.
I agree.
It's almost zero, especially if it's an interesting episode. He's always interesting. He's a smart dude. Why would people not follow him? Of course they would. They'd have to find him. It's hard to find people. They make it difficult on some social media platforms to find people. They make their posts limited, so only the followers can see it. Other people can't see it.
Yeah.
It's just this weird thing that they do. And if you're a guy that at least at one point in your life, was involved in illegal activities, they'd probably just shove you into a box. Like, they shove you into a category. They have you in some sort of an algorithm. It's just like every now and then someone finds you, but it's not easy. It's not. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what Instagram does after. If you're at, what are you at now? Okay, let's check right now. I'm gonna check your page.
300 and something.
Let's check right now. So you are right now. You are at. What is it, Jimmy? Yeah, something like that. Here. Just love that. Profile. Yeah. 392. So you're at 392,000. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens, Instagram. Stop fucking around. I think they fuck around with me too. Which sounds crazy to have 19 million.
Yeah, but you everybody in America knows you.
What the fuck's going on?
Everybody in America knows you. I mean, we did that show, what, almost 10 years ago?
Yeah.
People still come up to me in the airport. Man, I know you're Joe Rogan. Huh? Did you tell Joe? I said, don't tell me, tell Joe. I'm talking about still to this day, people walk up to me and tell me that they loved our episode.
And that's a long time ago. So there's probably been 1,600 different episodes since then, or more. Probably more than
And
that.
they remember we was like what, 60 or 80 or something like that.
Something crazy like that. The early days.
Early
You were in the early days when I was just starting to interview people.
Yeah.
I was just starting to have interesting people on the
I
podcast.
never heard of a podcast.
A lot of people who came on back then didn't.
I didn't know what a podcast was. You know what? I told my guys today when we were sitting out here, I said, can I recognize what a podcast was and start a podcast? I would have been the first black guy probably with a podcast.
Back then, you might have been. So what year? So this is like 2013, 11. So 208. 11 years. Episode 208. 2000.
Was that the first one or the second one?
Wow. That's great. That's crazy.
And they still remember that.
Well, you should do your own now.
I'll be so busy, Joe.
Listen to me. Stop right there. I told you to do a t-shirt, do a podcast. It's easy. It's not hard to do, man. It's easy. It'll promote your business.
Now you just called me on that one.
Listen, it's an easy thing. It doesn't cost much money. Man. It's real economical. You know, you upload to YouTube, it's free. YouTube's free. You know, you get get one of those platforms that supports podcasting, and they do things and they help you get ads. Not that hard, man. And I bet right away you would get especially after this episode, you get a big audience. It's an easy way. And then
I'm working on some stuff.
Then before you know it, you have 20 episodes, 30 episodes. You get better at it. People like it. And you can talk about all kinds of things. You can interview different people. You can have conversations with friends. And then you develop a following. And the next thing you know, it helps your business. It helps with the other things you do. It helps speaking engagements, all these other different things.
Yeah. They've been telling me to do it.
Yeah.
And I've been like, oh, no, you late. You waited too late.
You could have a podcast that's called The Real Rick Ross Is Not Around. That's a great name for a podcast. That's a great name for a podcast.
I thought that was an awful name for a t-shirt.
I think that's a great name for a podcast. It'll pique people's interest right away. They're like, what? The Real Rick Ross is not a rapper? What? What kind of fucking podcast is this?
Yeah.
And then people hear your story and they're like, oh my God, I didn't even know. This is crazy.
Yeah. I might take your advice on that one.
It's a great idea.
I took your advice last time and I benefited.
I'm telling you, it's
crazily,
a great idea.
Hey, crazily, you know, like right now, this t-shirt still brings in revenue.
That's beautiful. Well, we'll bring in a lot more after this one. But it just makes sense. I mean, it's just another method to get your word out there.
Yeah.
You know,
and we need platforms.
Yes.
You know, because people with platforms don't use them to benefit the people.
Well, also we need platforms from a person like yourself that has gone through this arc of life. You know, this interesting arc of life. You know, that finds yourself a completely different person now than who you were when you were 28 years old selling drugs. It's just different.
I was 19 when I started. When I was 28, I was an addict. I was stuck.
Yeah.
It's different. When you go 7-8 years selling drugs, you don't even know anymore. You're like out your mind. You're crazy.
You're just in the business.
Yeah, just in the business.
Well, especially if your business is making $3 million a day. That is just so crazy. So crazy. How much money did you earn over the entire course of selling drugs?
And no defense here.
Well, you figure just my 2 best years, 360 days in a year, just those 2 years, it's like 600 million, something like that. Not profit, though. Not profit.
Right.
That's not profit.
Of course. But just the amount of money.
Profit, I make, every million, I probably make 200 to 300,000 profit. I was able to take that much out. So, and then that's not counting the other 6 years, because I sold like 8 years. 8, maybe 9 years.
Come on, man, really?
And
These
so,
guys are just not
before I was
defenders.
making $1 million a day, I was making 500,000 a day. Right. And before I was making 500, I was making 400, 300, 200. You know, one time 10,000 a day. You know, so it just, but all those numbers add up. You know, you're talking about 100,000 a day ain't bad numbers. You know.
Yeah.
A couple $1 million a month. I made quite a bit of money. I mean, it went through my hands.
Yeah.
Not that I made, but money
Right.
that went through my hands.
Right.
That I touched.
It's crazy.
There's some crazy numbers. Probably be in the billions. Yeah, probably would be in the billions.
That life and that experience that you've had is very unique. There's not a whole lot of human beings that are out there wandering
Can't believe you
around
lost that.
that can say that.
That was kind of
So
crazy.
that perspective that you have would be very valuable for
Crazy,
people.
crazy
Just to hear what you did and what you went through in your life. It's a very unique story, man, and it's an American story.
It is.
It really is.
America.
It is an American story, and I
America.
thought that America should know about it. That's
Yeah.
why I wrote the book.
Oh.
And you know, when I wrote that book, I didn't know if I was ever getting out of prison.
Wow.
That was like my letter to the world. You know, like, this is how
Oh
it
God,
happened.
no!
You know, so that
No, turn it off! Turn
you
it
don't
off!
form your own personal opinion.
No, dude,
without
turn it
getting
off!
out of prison. Because so many people they form opinions about. I didn't really like the way the government characterized us drug dealers. You know, like we were raving maniacs. When I got arrested, I was a danger to the community. That's how they denied me bond. Oh, he's a danger to the community. Like I'm gonna take a gun and go to McDonald's and just go killing people. Right. No, it don't work like that. That's not who I was. You know, I had absolutely no violence in my case.
Which is pretty incredible. For
I
someone
could have
to
been
move-
violent. You
Right.
know, I could have been violent. I had guns, but I never used them. So why am I considered a danger to the community? So they consider drugs a danger. And even when we went to jail, you know, I was black box. You know, they put a black box on you. They put handcuffs on you, and then they got this little black box. They slide over the handcuffs. So your hands like stiff and cuff you to your waist. You can't even use the bathroom. You know, it's crazy. And then when you go to prison, you go to the worst part of the prison because they classify you with the guys who murderers, bombers. Now they got drug dealers who. I consider myself almost like a white collar worker. You know,
Businessman.
a businessman. You know, I wasn't looking to hurt nobody, but we were still classified like that. So I wanted to show people the mentality that I had. That no, yeah, I did get crazy with drugs. You know, I wanted to say all the drugs I could sell. I mean, my mission in life became sell as much drugs as you can. You know, it wasn't about making money anymore. Like, become the biggest drug dealer that you can become. You know, be great. That's how I felt.
Right.
Be great at it.
Right.
You know, fuck how much money you make. And you're not gonna spend all the money you got. You don't even spend the money you make now. But just be great at what you do. So it wasn't about money anymore. It just became, be great at it.
Isn't that crazy that mentality you can apply to almost any industry? Just unfortunately, you applied it to the wrong one.
Yeah.
We
You
got
know, and somebody asked me before, do I have any regret? That would probably, if I had a regret, that would be the regret that I didn't take those skills. I learned so much from selling drugs. Those fucking guys taught me, man. They taught me what the teachers couldn't teach me. Because they had a different passion to teach me. They wanted me to, motherfucker, get smart so you can get my drugs cheap and good. We need you to be smart. We don't want no dummy. We don't want to be getting our drugs from no dummy. So you get smart. So you can make sure that when we come get our drugs, we're going to be safe. We're going to get the best drugs. The price is going to be right. We like what you do. So we teaching you. And they taught me. I mean, somebody would have told me about a gram. A gram? What the hell is a gram? What is a tenth of a gram? What is an eighth of a, what is an eighth? What is a quarter ounce? What is an ounce? I didn't know none of that shit. I failed science in school because I couldn't read. I never went to science. They put me in special ed.
Wow.
I sit in the classroom and make paper airplanes. You know what I'm saying? I'm throwing paper airplanes around the classroom. I know nothing about no science, but when I got in the drug business, they taught me. They showed me what a gram was. And they showed me how to work a triple beam. I didn't know none of that shit. They showed me what a money counter was. They taught me how to work a money counter. I didn't know none of that shit, Joe. I was green. Man, we missed one of the greatest interviews. The guy I bought my first ounce from, he was paralyzed when I got out of prison. And we were shooting a documentary. And I go to his house. When I found him. I went and found him because, he was like my partner. I loved him. And I knew he was paralyzed too. When I went to prison, he was already paralyzed. When I got out, he was like fast leg. And I almost got him to talk on camera. He talked off camera.
Hell yeah. Dunked it.
He told us, and what I should have did, I should have promised him, man, do the interview. When you die, I'll put it out. But I won't put it out until you did. And I didn't. It wasn't a big deal. You never want to tell a friend that he's going to die. That was the first thing. I didn't want to say that. But he told us about me when I started. And it was just like so fascinating to hear him talk about me, to me, he's laughing about how green I was, how he used to take dope out of the bag, and I didn't know he took it out the bag. He said, man, I wouldn't sell him a kilo because I could get 4 extra ounces out of the kilo, and I could sell him a pound. And it was just so much stuff, and it was amazing for me to understand that. One time I knew absolutely nothing about cocaine. I'd never seen cocaine before. They taught me. They took me and molded me.
What's really crazy is that even though that sounds like, oh my God, that's illegal activity, that's drug dealing, but it's really a system, and you figured out how to excel inside this system. You figured out a business, and you really could have done that with anything.
Yeah, to me it wasn't illegal. I mean, I understood it was illegal, but I understand now, like you're saying, that it was the mentality of being able to be taught, to be able to listen, to be able to follow instructions was the part that I feel was the most valuable lesson in this whole thing. That I learned to follow instructions, I learned to listen. I'm doing the same thing with the weed business. When I first got into the weed business, was when I was out of jail and we were smoking weed and stuff, it was like two kinds of weed, Thai bud and indica. That was it. Now, it's thousands of different strains, and
Botanists got involved, scientists got involved.
so they tell me, smell the weed. Oh, shit, I can't smell shit. I don't know the smell. I don't know nothing. So I had to learn the smell. I had to learn what smell you're looking for. So I basically.
What smell are you looking for?
Well, now, one time it was the gas. the OG smell, and it was really like gassy, smell like gasoline, really stanky. Now it's a candy smell,
Like a sativa.
like a sativa, sweet. You know, they want that good taste.
Mm.
That's what everybody's
So you
into
smell
right
it.
now. Yes.
Wow.
But now the stuff I just gave you is the brand new stuff that the guy just created. You got what he calls it candy gas.
Oh boy.
This
So
guy,
it's a hybrid.
it's a hybrid. He has the highest testing weed in California.
What?
My partner.
What percentage,
from
bro?
Blue Dragon is the name of his company.
Blue Dragon?
He just invented this strictly for me. He said, Rick, this is the first time anybody gonna get candy gas. He said, will you please get Joe Rogan your jars and tell him to let us know how he like it. But it's candy gas, so it's gonna have the OG high. You know, OG knock him out.
Right.
Give me something to eat. I ain't moving. But it's gonna have that sweet candy taste that everybody loves. So he's saying that this here is gonna like shake him up. So I know how to do all that. I know the smells now.
That's interesting.
I
It's
know
funny
the
how
smells.
much it
There's
varies.
two of them.
You know,
Diesel
really
and
does.
And
gas.
he's a scientist, like you
Okay.
said. He's a botanist. He went to school for it. He's a whole
This
nother-
guy's hilarious.
Once they got involved.
Yeah, total different game.
Yeah, total different game. It got scary. They started just insane high THC content weeds. Yeah,
But that's
that
what
was
everybody wants.
one of the arguments about it being illegal. Like the marijuana of today is different than the marijuana of back in the day. It's so strong and people are going crazy.
They're going crazy.
People are going crazy no matter what you do.
I'm going crazy right now.
Well,
Look
at least
at
they're
me.
not using fentanyl.
That's true. And that's also the problem with things being illegal. With the cut. They're cutting, you buying it from the cartel. And a lot of stuff that people
What are you
buy
gonna
from
cut
the
into
cartel is
weed, bro?
cut. A lot. Including like street drugs.
Waste your weed.
Big Xanax.
Oh
big
no.
It's all cut.
Yeah.
Fake
And that-
Molly.
And like you said, that's what happens when you put that illegal marketing.
Exactly. And meanwhile, it costs us 100,000 lives every year, just in this country, from opiate overdoses. And what are we doing to stop that? Nothing. It's just it's so perplexing. So perplexing. The problems of our world today. It really is. Because it's such a complicated series
Oh
of
no.
issues, and it doesn't seem like any progress is being made. Like even the minimal progress that's being made with marijuana, like the good progress is states making it
Holy shit, what just
illegal
happened?
for recreational use, making it legal. But if the federal government still doesn't have it legal, like what the fuck are they doing? Like why? How is that still a thing?
Yeah, the federal government should just get out of it.
Yeah,
Just wash their hands with it.
yeah. Leave
We,
it to the states.
we're done with it. Whatever the states do, let it do.
That's what they should have done a long time
Let's be
ago.
done with
Well,
it.
let's
Well,
go.
they should have rescheduled it. They should have made it legal. Just schedule it, make it legal. It should be legal. It's stupid. The whole thing's stupid. It's stupid. There's plenty of things. If alcohol is legal, marijuana should be. That's it. Alcohol destroys lives, destroys liver. I had a guy in here last week who lost his liver and his kidney. Liver replacement and kidney replacement just from drinking himself to death.
And cigarettes.
Oh, yeah. All that stuff. Legal. Totally legal. It's crazy. We live in a strange time. But, you know, it's interesting.
Oh shit.
Well, we're starting to talk about it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, the first thing, nobody used to talk about drug dealing.
Right.
It was a taboo. To
Right.
have somebody to come on and say,
What was
I sold
that?
drugs.
Right.
You never would have heard that before.
No, not like this.
So now,
No.
now we're talking about it. People are starting to understand how they get started selling drugs, what
what
to look
the
for,
fuck?
and that's really all I can do. If I can educate somebody on what to look for, and it's coming your way, hey, I did my job.
Yeah, and explain the pitfalls. And also, don't ask how much when someone calls you up. When someone gets suspicious.
Yeah, don't get addicted. 'Cause if
Yeah.
you get addicted, you're gonna ask how much.
Right.
How much?
Right, especially if you're addicted to the thrill of the game. If it's, an exciting thing, and then you're not doing that exciting thing anymore, and you miss it. There's everything that you're not supposed to be doing is exciting, at least in some way, especially something that's massively profitable. At least you got offended. Right here. Freeway Rick Ross, The Untold Autobiography, second edition.
Well, it's I took out all the misspelling, you know, the typos, because I self-publish.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I self-publish it, yeah. So if anybody want to get it, go to my website, RickyRoss.com. Don't go to Amazon. They keep all the money.
Amazon keeps all the money?
You don't get much money.
Oh, okay.
I bought you my other one too. I did that one since I've been
21 Keys of Success.
Those are 21 keys that I used when I got out of prison.
All right. Beautiful. And this is available on
my site as well.
FreewayRicky.com?
FreewayRickyRoss.com.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I bought you a few gifts.
Thank you,
I
sir.
said I'm gonna go and get Joe something. That's my other one.
Oh, 3 books? Look at you, man.
And I also bought you one of my sweatshirts.
All right.
And I just want to tell you, man, thanks for
World famous Freeway Rick.
thanks for all you did for me.
My pleasure.
And
your story's crazy.
And you know what? I'm gonna take your advice on the podcast.
You should.
You know?
I hope you did.
Everybody else been telling me, and I've been like, yeah, but I did so well the last time you told me to do something, and I would be going against my own principles.
You definitely should. Listen, you're an interesting man, and you've had a fascinating life, and we need more interesting people and interesting voices. We need more people. We grow and learn from other people's perspectives of the world. When you get to hear a person who's gone through the life that you've gone through, which is very unusual. When you hear that person talks, it educates you and informs you and it changes your perspective. You get to add to your perspective of the world from another person's life. And that benefits.
No question. I see.
All right. Let's do it again sometime, man. Well, next time we do it,
when
we'll be talking about your podcast.
When the movie come out.
Okay.
When the movie come out.
When is that?
Well, we just hired the director 3 weeks ago. So hopefully this summer we're going production.
Okay. Well, when it comes back, you come back. All right. Thanks, sir.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Joe.
you. Bye, everybody.
Oh shit. That ended already? That was a whole 2.5 hour podcast.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock.
I'm
You're
like
probably
boost
careful
up
with
in
your
this
personal
game here.
information,
Don't
but
even.
what about all the other places that have it?
Fucking commercial, man. That guy. Look at that. That guy's just that one guy. He's not even rated that high. The 2 guys that are rated high didn't even get the most points. That's so weird. What's going on tonight? Let's put like Rocket League's music on, huh? Starting off with a nice little shot there. Come on, come on, come on. Oh. Got it, got it. Oh. Wow. This is Rocket League. Oh. Come on. There it is. Ba, 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 ba. Oh, that was a close one. There we go. I just let him have it that time. He got it. Nice shot. I turned on theme songs and in-game music, so that's gonna be new from now on. That was the last time I touched her right there. Super entertaining. I'm going to go for it. That was sick. We like. That was super sick. Come on, drive on the rim. Going for that soft touch right there. Just alley-oop it right in there for me, baby. Oh, I messed that up. The double tap that to my roots there. There we go. Come on, pop it for Dave. Pop it. Whee. Oh, ceiling action? Hell yeah. Really hoping that was gonna be pass. Come on, man. Come on, Wayne. Oh, did I just jump off the puck? What was that? mess. This is an absolute mess. Get our shit together here. Let's get our shit together here, eh? Oh, I rolled the wrong way. There we go. Oh, what a dick. Damn, I missed that shit too. How do I change the track now? In game. Here we go. Let's do it again. Hey, 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 hey. Damn. Almost put it in. There we go. Teamwork makes the dream work, baby. How do I... What is this song? Oh yeah. We'll take it. We will take it. Bank, 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 bank. Wonder what my theme song is. I'm so set to. Boost, man. Come on. Oh my. We won though. Did we get ranked yet? Nope. No rank yet. What happened to the other extra mode? Drop shot. Oh no. There you go. Oh yeah. Come on. I don't know why I did that. Come on. Got all the time in the world. What just happened there? What is going on? This is a happy birthday song with motors? Is that what's going on? Is that what I just heard? Tell me your work. What happens if I press this button? Come on. Find me a match. What is going on here? It wouldn't... Like I wasn't connected to the server for a second. Fixed it. I am a fixer. I fixed it. Wait, maybe it's still broken. Fuck it. We've been on 3.5 hours. It's a good time to end. With the game crashing like this. Processing. This music is intense. Oh, there we go. That's much better. Alright, one more. We'll do normal threes. One more. boys. Hit that shit hard, man. Shit. Just wait. Just wait. Hold on. Fuck, dude. Fuck. Shit. That was my fault. I failed. I failed my team. I don't know how I didn't hit that. Red. There we go. That's putting it back together. Come on, buddy. flailing in the back of the net. Anyways, that's good enough, right? Oh yeah. You guys have a great night.